On Thursday morning, no one, least of all the local doctor, gave Jose Maria Olazabal a cat-in-hell's chance of playing, never mind winning in the desert. To find another winner other than Big Ernie Els on current form would have been as tough as squeezing the proverbial camel through the eye of a needle. And just when you felt it was safe to suggest otherwise, guess who cruised into town? The grand old master, freed of his objective duties to Spain, Europe and Samuel Ryder, now had other fish to fry. His youngsters, Garrido in particular, have become noticeably tougher for the experience. Though he really wouldn't hurt a fly. Or an ant, come to that. A year nearer 40, and Woosnam was back to take the waters. 'Tis a good horse indeed that never stumbles. Oh, and Monty, the thoroughbred, the odds-on bet for anything and everything this side of the majors. Looking trim as a bird. In grand feather, for sure. Glorious nights in Arabia. Arabs at play by dawn. But it was another one who could realistically look the camel in the eye, who held fast in the frenzy. The entomologist's concerns came late in the day, when he'd done most of his damage. The shark looked on from a distance. By comparison, his putter was stone cold. Big as a bucket. No, not you, Ernie. I'd never pick on anyone from the outsides department. No, the hole at the 15th. Or so it seemed. They all talk about Norman's figure. Well, not much has changed in Woos's in the time we've known him. He's 40 tomorrow, and this has always been the simplest of swings. prime mover in round 3 was Paul McGinley. His 64 has only been betted by Ernie. Who else? Seve dropped in on the camels a couple of times, and if they could have, they would have applauded. All that's left for Monty may be a little something for Mrs. M. This for a $100,000 necklace. Oh well, out with the gold card again. Monty had to settle for a mere 2. This Dubai Desert Classic, you couldn't ask for a better leaderboard, going into the 4th and final round. Hello everybody, wherever you are in the world, good afternoon from Dubai, where we're in for a cracking afternoon's golf, if a little different from yesterday. Yesterday, a birdie bonanza, eagles galore, a stroke average of 69.43 was 2.5 below the par of 72. But you can see the wind is blowing off the desert today. There is sand whipping across the course. It's an unusual wind, it's a tough wind, a difficult wind, and the forecast isn't that great, and the stroke average has soared today to 73.95. So our winner, whoever he may be, later this afternoon, he's going to have his nerves tested, and he's going to have to control the ball in the wind. The sea just about a mile away, and it's a linksy feel to this day. Well, someone who's made good profit early on out in the 3rd match was David Guilford. And the quiet Englishman had this putt at 18 for a 63 to equal that best round of the week, set in much calmer conditions on Friday by Ernie Els. Well, he'd have to settle for a 64, but he can spend the afternoon watching the size of his cheque grow. First out was Ian Garbutt, by the way, from Yorkshire, playing with a mark around in 2 hours 36 minutes and a 69. But an excellent card from Guilford, and 8 under, maybe at least in the top 20-25 by the end of the afternoon. Now, what news of Ernie Els? Still many people's favourite. He needed a fast start. He got one. This is a second shot to the first. Par 4 of 433 yards. Playing in the penultimate 2-ball with Jose Maria Olazabal. And that's setting up an opening birdie. Just the start that Ernie needed. And he could be the man if he's in the mood. Well, today is St. David's Day, the patron saint of Wales. Tomorrow is Ian Woosnam's 40th birthday, and what could he do? Well, after a par at the first, he all but drove the second. 351 yards. Much will depend on Woosnam's putting stroke today, but he couldn't miss that one, nor did he. And Woosie also off to a perfect start. So let's take a look at the situation as we prepare to join the live action. Leader Robert Carson, a calm beginning for the tall Swede. He is at level par today, 4 straight pars, leading by 2 from Olazabal. Here is the leader, second to the 5th, into the wind. Just dragging that a little left, but it's got an awkward putt. Well, it seems appropriate. I'm Steve Beddow, by the way, and for all the past 3 days, enjoy the company of a very famous Welshman. He said he's the new St. David. I don't believe him for a minute, but Philip Parkin, you'd rather be out there, I know, but welcome again to the commentary box. I do think we're in for a fascinating afternoon.
It's going to be very interesting today because these golfers are not used to the golf course playing this way. They haven't had the opportunity to sample this wind in this direction. See Monty there producing a very good round in this weather. It was a little bit calmer this morning, a little bit easier for the early starters, but this afternoon the leaders are going to find it very difficult. Some of the holes that we're playing easier. We'll be playing a lot more difficult today.
This is the Swede Fredrik Jakobsen at the 7th for the string of pearls. Now I've been taken to task on my comments on the attire of the Swedish golfers. Nothing wrong with their golf. That was so close to $100,000. I was just thinking, making a general comment. Apologies to Anders Forsberg, who collared me in the clubhouse this morning. He said, "Are you referring to all Swedes?" And no, of course not, Anders.
Anders always dresses very smart indeed, and took offence to the comment that Steve made the other day.
I can't think why. Mark James at 68. He was out earlier. Montgomery, by the way, just finished at 69. Just walked off the 18th green, and there won't be many cars without a bogey on today. I can promise you that. But a great start for Mark James, out in 30. On what is generally the hardest at 9, but it may be that the back 9 is just as tough in this wind today. But Paul McGinley has slipped back. He's carrying an injury anyway, and he's had a wretched time. He's 5 over today so far. They said yesterday 64, a change in painkiller, and he's just doing what he can, but obviously and clearly still in some discomfort.
Well, it was remarkable his round yesterday. He hadn't played golf for about 6 days due to the injury, trying to rest it, and then came through quite unexpectedly. But today there's obviously the wind, and there's no one better than Jose Maria Olazabal and Ian Woosnam in the wind, so it's interesting. They're close to the lead. Interesting if they come through.
This wind coming off the desert, known as a Shimel, or Shimel. And as I say, the forecast not that great. A threat maybe of electrical storm, so we've got our fingers crossed that we can get through this today. No repeat of the Alfred Dunhill PGA down in South Africa, where we had to go into the Monday. Although I have to say, with most of the entourage bound for Qatar at some stage next week, there would be not quite as much a problem going into Monday if we had to. But let's hope that's not the case, that we don't need to. Now Carlson 2 ahead of Olazabal, 3 clear of Ernie Els. Ian Woosnam, having made 2 early birdies at 2 and 3, has now dropped shots at 5 and 6, so he's back where he started in terms of today's round, back to 14 under. Story for Jose Maria Olazabal, pretty good, 4 straight pars, and he's picked up a birdie at the 5th, but that's a wild tee shot at 6.
This hole playing downwind today, so he probably tried to cut the corner, hit it over the edge of the bunker. He'd only be hitting a little wedge. It's downwind quite severely. Difficult thing is to get it to stop. He's coming out of the semi-rough, having to carry the bunker.
Jose Maria's fellow countryman Seve Ballesteros on the 9th at the moment, having birdied the 2nd and pars all the way, and that's a pretty good round perhaps in the making.
Noticed the wind blew him off balance, but managed to hit the ball first. It's a very good shot there indeed.
It's a little unlucky not to come off that bank as well, isn't he?
In Woosnam on the 7th tee, 7th hole, playing 177 yards today.
Just got to stop that run of 2 bogeys in a row. Yeah, at some stage, though, even Robert Carlson hasn't dropped a shot at the moment. There will be problems for all the players. There will be shots, and they've got to get themselves out of trouble. Greg Norman, he likes to hit the ball high, though he has to be a good player in the wind because he's won 2 British Opens, but he's dropped 3 shots today.
Well, there's no question there will be quite a few bogeys out there today. And else's second shot to the 6th. Wind not affecting him at the moment, playing very steady stuff.
Well, he's just coming off 2 bogeys. I mean, he made 2 birdies in the first 3 holes, and he's just dropped a shot at 4 and at 5, so he's back where he started at 15 under. So Robert Carlson, I don't know whether he looked at these conditions or, well, level par might do it.
I think these players have to have a lot of patience today, except they're going to hit a few loose shots and make a few bogeys. Robert Carlson, if he keeps level par today, I think he'd be favourite to win this event.
He probably would take a level par. Garrido also coming off 2 bogeys in a row, and he's Began with 2 pars, so he's 2 over for the day, 14 under, and at the moment 4 shots adrift of playing partner Robert Carlson.
I think the key for today is you're going to make bogeys, you've got to accept that, but the holes that are downwind you must take advantage and try and make a few birdies on the easier holes. And the player that does that will be the winner at the end of the day.
This is Darren Clark. He's playing with his big buddy Lee Westwood. Clark at 9 under, 7 straight pars, and dropped the shot at 8. And putting's going to be just as difficult today, isn't it? I mean, on the greens in this sort of strength of wind.
Well, there are a couple of reasons. It's obviously difficult to stay still over the ball with this wind, but these greens being so quick that it actually will blow the ball a little bit on the greens and will affect it the way it rolls. Carlson on the 5th here for his birdie. Judging that extremely well indeed.
Oh.
That was downhill, down grain and downwind. Remarkable putt.
One more gust and might have been the first birdie, but a par will do. Most of his rivals dropping shots here. Otathable the only one of the immediate leaders to gain. And there you see the way the leaders have putted the first 3 rounds. Garrido with the hottest putter, as you would expect for all 5 of those leaders, have been rolling in the putts, and that's perhaps the key around this course. It does favour the longer hitter. If you've got your putting stroke with you.
And this man here, Greg Norman, he's played as good as anyone from tee to green, but I'm afraid his putting stroke's not quite been there this week. Otherwise, the way he's played, he would be up there probably leading this tournament.
Well, that's been the same story for Colin Montgomery as well. 3 birdies, no drop shots today. That's a tidy round indeed, but he hasn't, first time out this year, bar the Anderson Consulting, hasn't really found the touch with the putter, and that's why he's down in the pack. Now, Stephen Allen played yesterday with Seve Ballesteros and came through very well, and he's going as well as anybody today. 24-year-old from Melbourne, whose best finish last year was share of 4th place in the Portuguese Open, 2nd year on tour.
Back to the 7th hole. Ian Woosnam going for his birdie. This week Ian Woosnam's had a tremendous putting stroke going, but today very difficult to hold putts, and the person that plays solid golf from tee to green will be the winner.
A lot of high scores, but 1 or 2 good scores early on. Sven Struve a 67, we saw Mark James 68. Philip Price from Wales is 69. He featured on the opening day, as did Andrew Coulthard and Peter Baker. They both finished with rounds of 70.
Well, yesterday Darren Clark played with Jose Maria and said it's the best golf he's ever seen in his life, and his money goes on this man. He's got off to a very good start today. Norman for his par on the 7th. Little break from the right.
But he's got to keep plugging away. He's a massive 8 shots behind at the moment, but things can turn around. It will need a Norman special, shark attack on the back 9, but he's done it before.
Back on 6, Ernie Els for his birdie. Probably allowing for a little bit of the wind, and it didn't bring it back. I think we'll see a few putts like that today. Notice Seve's creeping up the leaderboard slowly there, Stephen.
Well, it is a steady round, and here he is, 2nd into the 9th.
This is a really difficult shot here on the 9th.
He's an artist with a golf club in his hand, but this is his 3rd. In fact, I understand his drive found bushes. First 2 days he was so consistent, hitting fairway after fairway, but struggled a little yesterday, and his 69 was probably harder work and maybe even a better round than his first two 68s. So today's a very good effort, but he needs a touch of genius to save par here.
And it's a very difficult shot. Pin tucked tight left next to the water. Wind blowing from the left. Looks like it's gone with the wind. Still very good shot.
Well, he's a maestro in all conditions, and windy conditions. You don't win the championships he has without being able to master the conditions. Now, Olatharbo at 7.
Jose likes to punch his shots, and that's why he's so good in the wind. His tee shot on the 7th. Even though it's teed up, he'd probably still punch it in there a little bit.
Winds are off the left, just helping that on, and a little behind. That's okay. You're going to get that as well because the wind is gusting a little also. Now Lee Westwood is playing with Darren Clark. Tomorrow they have a big challenge match. Going to play on the tennis court, would you believe? And out in 35, so he's on the golf course. They probably have a few bob on this, not too much. Just a friendly bet. He's got the advantage on his playing partner Darren Clark by 1 at the moment. So Lee Westwood into a share of 8th place, and you can see that Colin Montgomery's 69 has got him into the top 10, and he may creep up a place or two before the afternoon's through. Seve struggling to save his par at 9, but in 7th place at the moment. Garrido and Stephen Allen sharing 5th. Ian Woosnam, well, could do with another couple of birdies. Ernie Els, 3rd place. Jose Maria Olatharbo, 2 behind Robert Carlson at the moment. Carlson in control. Who else might have a round? Well, you can see that David Guilford was in around about 75th, 76th place at the start of the day, and that round of 64 has put him up to a share of 16th. Now Garrido at the 6th, where Robert Carlson has missed the green left, we understand.
Difficult to get it to stop on the green from this type of lie, going downwind also.
Yeah, he's got 149 yards with a 9-iron.
This wind bringing also lots of sand with it, so it's very difficult today, being hit in the face with sand and wind. Those players that wear contact lenses will be struggling out there.
You start to understand why the local dress at the flowing robes and the headband and everything to keep the sand away. It's the first day we've had like this, and I must say that the weather has been superb this week.
I've been to many desert classics in the past, and I don't think I've ever seen the wind in this direction before. So the players, certainly this week, haven't sampled this wind, and I don't think in previous years have sampled it either. So the player that can adapt the most.
Well, Cabrera a year ago, a final round 63 to get himself into the top 10, but not going to happen today. Dropping 2 shots at the par 5 third, which is normally a pickup hole, but this wind is making it harder. It's almost into the wind. They play the third, and the 7 there for Angle, who finished second a couple of years ago in the Oki Pro-Am, behind Tom Kite and ahead of Seve Ballesteros, who is his playing partner today.
Ernie Els back on 7th tee. This hole playing a little shorter than previous days. Wind off the left helping slightly. Ernie Els managed to get it to stop fairly quickly. Here we do have the 7th hole. What a wonderful looking par 3 this is. It's a carry of 160 yards over water. It's alright for the pros, but not for the amateurs. Jose Maria looks like he's got his putter out. Most players have been doing that this week. Just a few feet off the putting surface. The fringes are cut very short indeed. Almost like a putting surface themselves. This should be reasonably quick once it gets onto the green. Should break slightly from his right.
Oh, it really is wild and windy out there. No wind when he needed it.
Well, it makes you wonder, he was putting back into the wind, whether it made him hit it a little bit hard. It happens sometimes. You can feel the wind in your hands and your face. It just makes you hit the ball a little bit harder.
Well, for all their great skills in all departments, it may be that today's winner has a little bit of good fortune somewhere along the line as well.
Yes, there's no way that these players are going to play perfect golf in this weather. They'll be blown off balance. And it's gusty, it's not a consistent wind. So they have to accept a few loose ones.
You see, and he's had to scramble a little bit, particularly in the first round. And I shouldn't think he'd hit too many greens in regulation today. But he's hit this one, and this is for a 2. He's got a lesson on the pace and just drifted away. News of our other South Africans. Reti Thurston started with a double bogey 6, but with 3 holes to play, it's 4 over for today's round. He's 3 under. And Roger Vessels is through 10, level par today. Made a birdie at the first, only 1 drop shot at the 4th, and Roger is 9 under.
And Roger was playing with Ian Woosnam yesterday, and he said Ian Woosnam played so well on the back 9. He said it was the purest golf he's ever seen. So if Ian Woosnam can bring that form into today's round, and being the good win player he is, it can be challenging at the end of the day. Jose Maria for his par on 7, back up the hill, can afford to hit this fairly firm.
As the ball went past and watched the line and just remembered enough.
I've noticed this week he's had his pace very good on those 6-foot putts, and he's had a few just going in the back door and side door. Back to Seve to save his par on the 9th after driving into the bushes, chipping out his 3rd shot to here.
Oof. What a 5 for Seve, no disgrace there, plenty of 5s, very few birdies, and even an 8 this hole for Paolo Carici.
Well, Seve's next hole is the 10th, par 5, usually a birdie hole, but directly into the wind today. We're playing extremely difficult.
Yeah, there was a 7 there for Stephen Richardson, who's one of the bigger hitters, and this week has shown a return to form. He's been working very hard in the winter with Scott Cranfield, and they're very pleased with the progress. But when you've changed your swing, you've worked hard, conditions like this can just throw you off balance.
Robert Carson played a miraculous chip there. It wasn't easy at all. And with this wind being 6'5", there's a chance he's going to be blown around a little bit more than the rest.
Well, so far, steady as you go. And Carlson with 6 straight pars leads by 2 from Jose Maria Olazabal and by 3 from Ernie Els.
The 8th hole should be playing a little bit easier than it has been. It's downwind, slightly off the left. I suppose the only thing you don't want to do is let it go with the wind too much, end up in the desert on the right hand side. But today they should be driving a lot further than what they have been during the week.
So that's sand, that's not fog or mist, that is just sand blowing across the Gulf.
The tall man with his t-shirt on 7. This hole only playing an 8 iron today. And yesterday we noticed round about this stage he started losing a few shots to the right and made a few bogeys and eventually lost the lead, but rallied towards the end, played the last 6 holes in 4 under to regain the lead. Hell's going for the big carry. He's in a huge drive there, up 8. Only leaving himself a little 9 iron or wedge from there.
Now Garrido, who played with Greg Norman yesterday, and Greg Norman was speaking to our colleague Cam Brown and saying, well, who is this guy? And didn't really know him. Where did he come in the money list? And it turned to Ken again on the back nine and said, this kid can play. And he knows, of course, remembers Father Antonio.
He's someone that makes this game look very easy. Lee Westwood makes it look easy, and I think Garrido's another player as well.
And Norman was impressed with his fitness, and no surprise when he learned that Ignacio was a martial arts devotee. And he said that's why he's got such quick hips, which is where he gets his length on. He does hit it a long way. There's his greens in regulations on the Guardian performance data. Round 2 was his best day. That roughly translated means he hit 15 out of the 18 greens.
Garrido very consistent every aspect of his game. He's very solid indeed. Was the fittest player on tour last year, but still gave himself a fitness program in the winter and even fitter now.
Greg Norman at the 8th. He's looking for his first birdie of the day. He won't get it here because this is for par.
This is the highest point of the golf course. This green is catching all the wind. And probably it's the wind that kept that one from breaking into the hole.
Not much happening for Greg Norman at the moment. There's the putts per round. His best was the second, but 30 in this sort of company on this quality green is a little too many. It can be misleading, depends on how many greens you hit in regulation. Sometimes those putts can come down if you just miss there, and they only count putts that are actually on the mown putting surface, so when they take the putter from off the fringe, that doesn't count.
Ian Woosnam also struggling on the 8. He has this to save his par also. Should break slightly from his right, put him back into the wind. It stayed there. Usually on these greens they're so pure, if you're about 3-4 feet away it's an almost automatic, but today with this wind those putts are very difficult indeed.
This is Lee Westwood for birdie at 10. Tried for him. You know, if Lee or Darren can get back in 32-33, they might just have a chance if the conditions get harder, or they can't get a lot harder, but if someone could post a score.
Well, also these two players are very long hitters, and I think in conditions like this you need to be a long hitter for the difficult holes back into the wind. They can still hit a reasonably short iron into those greens, where other players are going in with longer irons, making it very difficult for them.
Ian Woosnam made that putt of 5 at the 8, so he's 5 shots behind Robert Carlson, who's missed a couple of greens now, but he's managed to get up and down and has to do it again. And he's had 4 single putts so far, so he's coping better with the conditions on the greens than anybody else at the moment.
Well, he got up and down on the last hole from a very difficult position. He should have definitely fancied his chances this time, or even fancy knocking this one in. It's down the hill slightly from the right, but back into the breeze. There's a big break on that one, wasn't there, Steve?
It was, but again, perfect touch.
I think He just didn't want to leave it on the top side, leave himself a difficult 2-foot putt down the hill. They preferred to have a 4-foot putt back up the hill, I think, in these conditions.
Robert, who's 28, based in Monte Carlo now, used to have a residence in Richmond in London, but has moved down with the other rich Swedes, Matthias Gromberg and company, down onto the Mediterranean. A lot of them in Spain at Marbella, quite a few at Monte Carlo.
It's a fast little chip shot here. Beautiful touch there. Still going, leaving himself a little tester for his par. Garrido did take the lead briefly yesterday at one stage. Jose Maria's second shot to the 8th. Wind off the left, helping a little bit. Difficult to get it to stop coming out of that semi-rough.
But he's okay. He has the option of putting that if he wants to.
The pin only 7 paces from the right-hand side. 140 yards left for Else, down the wind. Hitting a 9-iron there. And a very nice shot as well.
He must have hit that so well to get it to stop. Carlson now, to 4, it's looking a little nearer 5 feet now.
That was solid, wasn't it?
Very good. 7 pars, and I would venture to suggest that perhaps another 11 might be good enough. Memories of Nick Fowler at Muirfield grinding out 18 straight pars in an Open Championship. This is Stephen Allen.
Stephen got off to a little bit of a flyer this morning, birding 2 of the first 3 holes.
But he's now dropped 2 shots at 5 and at 8. And that in this wind, that's a pretty tricky, there's a fairly unkind pin placing. You'd settle for a 4 here.
Well, Garrido this to tidy up for his par on the 7th. Similar putt to Carson's. Hit it straight in the hole. This should be a reasonably straight putt.
Oh, just remains at 3 over. Dropping shots at 3, 4 and 5. Of course, it's the sort of day where someone out a wee bit earlier can come through. That's a respectable card for Alex Jacob. 9 straight pars to the turn, and then picking up shots at 10 and 12, and now he's got the par 5-13 to come. 10 under.
He's creeping up there slowly. I saw him out here on Tuesday in his practice round, having someone videotape every swing he did on every hole, taking it extremely serious.
Well, he's had a good start to the season and wants to become a winner again after a couple of fallow years by the standards he set in '95.
Seve on the 10th had no chance of reaching this green in 2 shots. Seve, tremendous wind player, has a great variety of shots he can play. Punching it into the wind. Typical Ballesteros shot there. I think that's one aspect of his game that's never been anything but perfect, is when he had a sand iron in his hand.
Sand iron in his hand and sand in his eyes. Great attempt at the 8th bum. Oratharbo, he's left himself one of that length again. Stroke average is crept up above 74 now, 74.16, so conditions are not getting any easier.
Carson looks happy with that tee shot, and no wonder why. There's an advantage and a disadvantage to this hole. It's wind helping off the left so you can hit it a long way up the fairway, but it pushing the ball to the right where the desert's waiting for the ball.
Carlson accurate and Garrido accurate with the driver today. Macau Reali in the first 3 rounds was the best off the tee, only missed one fairway in the whole 3 rounds.
Similar putt to what Norman had earlier, missing it on the high side also.
Difference being that Ernie works off with a par rather than a bogey. See that Alex Jaker has just picked up another shot at 13, so he's crept to 11 under.
The 9th hole today is bound to be the most difficult hole.
Oh, big hook, and well, we can see the ball. That's an advantage. Hit the sign, and whether he can get any sort of shot to that, I don't know.
He is small, but I don't think he can quite get underneath that bush.
Well, that's the hole which is rated over the week as the hardest hole on the course, and certainly the stat is not going to be changed by Ian Woosnam.
The problem Olafabal has on this putt is the wind. Really gusting up on the 8th green here.
He has to be very careful and very sure in addressing the ball. If he's there, if it moves now, he's in trouble.
And this wants to break slightly to his right. Easy to lose it to the right. Very solid putt there.
Ian Woosnam beaten by a left-hander last year in the playoff, Richard Green. And maybe all he can do is just get this out. Yeah, well done. But it's, well, when it's not your day or not your hole, that's sitting down.
He's got a really difficult shot now. All the carry over the water, pinned tight to the water, and a strong wind off the left.
He's saying he's mad. He's one bad drive and he might just have blown it now. Surely he has to calm down and still play the percentages. Mustn't be lured into going for it.
I think he'd be happy with a bogey from that position.
Absolutely. Sven Struve at 67 earlier in the day, having started at 2 over. So he's probably doubled or tripled the size of his jet. Won't be that substantial, but better than it looked like yesterday.
Seve to go to 12 under par. Oh.
Everywhere you looked, first 3 days and particularly yesterday, putts were dropping, but when Seve misses one like that, he didn't look to hit it any differently to the other putts.
I think he thought he made that one. Caught more of the hole than what it missed.
Sure.
Allen's attempt for a birdie on 9. Don't think it was too many. Ooh, I was going to say of these, this wasn't quite a birdie.
There's the 9th hole, playing an average of 4.49 today. There've been 5 birdies there.
Garrido playing a 9-9 there, punching it in, getting it to bite. Keeping good control in the wind.
Well, this is Chaker's second to 14. He's on a roll. 3 birdies out of 4 holes since the turn, after 9 straight pars to the halfway mark. He found a star was born when he won 3 times, including the Volvo Masters in '95, but then went to America and didn't really succeed.
You can see the wind helping, blowing off the left. Want to blow the ball to the right. And that's a very high class shot there.
Carlson's winning score in the BMW at Munich last year, 24 under par, was the lowest of the season. He also played very well for a share of 5th place in the Benson Hedges at the Oxfordshire, and that was a rough, tough week. So, although he's tour, he's proved he can play in the wind.
Westwood taking his time on that putt.
Yeah, it's starting to get even the calmest temperaments, and Lee's one of the better temperamental players. I mean, he keeps calm and takes his lot, but it's starting to get to him as well. So goodness knows what it's doing to some of the others. And Ian Woosnam, we saw vent his fury briefly. His third shot to 9.
This is probably the most difficult shot on the golf course, and the ball probably destined to the right. I would say that's a pretty good shot from where he was.
Yeah, not bad from there. You just couldn't take on the pin. You 5, all right, you take it if you have to, but what you don't want is a 6, 7 or an 8.
Here we have the 9th hole. The day this was taken, it was a wonderful sunny day. Now we've got the wind almost directly into our face for the tee shot. Bunker lurking on the right. Most players probably not reaching that, and today, second shot from here, the wind blowing straight from the left. So it's difficult to start it over the lake and expect the wind to bring it back. Many players will be missing this green to the right. Jose Maria on the tee. Kept a good balance there. I think that's one of the most important things to do in the wind. So easy to get quick from the top of the backswing. Something Colin Montgomery does very well in the wind. Keeps his rhythm, and most good wind players do that.
Big moment for Robert Carlson then. For a first birdie of the day, and to lead by 3.
It's up the hill, breaking a little bit from his right.
Didn't move.
I would have missed that one. I thought it was from the other way.
Well, Philip Parkin's had the eye operation, but we're still in the...
Well, it's probably the wind. The wind's blowing strong from the left. Probably that's the reason why he tried to allow for the wind, and it just didn't bring it in.
But it's another par in a hole where Woosnam, Norman, Allen, McGinley all drop shots. There's Philip Price. Again, a good, solid week for Philip. He may have hoped for a little better after his first round 68.
Greg Norman, another player that's missing the green on the 9th to the right. It's not a particularly difficult shot there, chipping back into the wind.
But Norman will have that for 39 halfway total.
Garrido for his birdie. Put a little bit of pressure on Robert Carlson, and that's exactly what's happening.
First one of the day for Ignacio, and he goes to 14 under, 4 behind. Clinton Whitelaw's just picked up a shot at 16. He's at 8 under.
Anything else on the 9th? There's no question he'll keep his rhythm. Even though it's a perfect shot, he's still got about 170 yards from there.
Robert Carlson's done nothing wrong, 8 straight pars, and he leads by 2 from Olazabal with Ignacio Garrido going to 14 under with his birdie at 8, and Ernie Els safely down at the 9th. It's a rough, tough day, and Carlson at the moment still in control.
Quite a big, important putt for Ian Woosnam here. This is actually to save bogey. Last thing he wants right now is a double bogey on his card. Got a lot of catching up to do already.
Yeah, he's one over for the day after such a good start. And there we are.
Well, that might be the end of Ian Woosnam. Although he did rally yesterday on the back 9. really is incredibly difficult out there. Even the holes that are downwind, it's difficult to get the ball to stop close to the flag.
So Woozy out in 38. And 11 under, 7 behind now.
The European Tour are thinking about growing the rough up next year. If we have wind like this and high rough, I hate to think how difficult this course is going to be.
Well, it's a happier ending for David Carter. Great start with 3 successive birdies, and remember this time last year he was in hospital, got the best possible treatment because Dubai, they've got everything you need in terms of medical treatment, as you know, Philip, here, and they managed to catch his virus, I think it was, in time, and he's back and churning out the birdies.
I think they had to drain some fluid out of his brain or something, wasn't it? Not a very nice operation to go through, but he came out of it normally. Well, that's not a bad score on the 9th hole for Norman, making his par.
No, he's out in 39, one more than Ian Woosnam, and is 9 adrift.
Shows how difficult the 9th is playing. When players start backing up and waiting to hit the tee shot.
Carlson looks very calm. Mentioned that Nick Faldo-like round at Muirfield. Of course, first time Carlson came to most of our notice was at Sunningdale in a European Open when he had a televised hole-in-one and followed Faldo home. Gave a good account of himself. Since then he's won twice on tour.
Jose Maria's second shot to 9. Taking his time, making sure he knows exactly what the wind is doing. You can see the flags blowing from left to right.
Been suffering from flu all week, and first time his temperature's down below 100 degrees, so getting back to normal. But I wonder if the cumulative effect will take its toll, certainly in these conditions.
175 yards left. Even though they've moved the tee forward and hitting a perfect tee shot, still 175 yards over water, into the wind off the left. And imagine having to use a 4-iron. And the wind is gusty, which makes it more difficult than if it was consistent.
You saw going out, you picked somebody on 18 putting almost off the 9th onto the 18th double green. And if we require a playoff come the end of 4 normal rounds, the holes used will be 18 and 9. That's a little improvement, a little change, and a good one, because most of the spectators gathered around this double green.
See the hospitality units behind. When they're not there, it's an absolutely fantastic sight down the 9th fair with the lake and the clubhouse in the background.
I think for promoters and sponsors, it's a fantastic sight to see those hospitality units full. They've had record crowds this year.
I think they're expecting over 20,000 total for the week. Dubai is a very fast expanding, probably the quickest growing city in the world, and each year no doubt the crowd's going to increase.
It's more like it par for Seve at 11.
So it's Jose Ramir Olazabal has to decide exactly what he wants to do. He's capable of holding it into the wind or letting it drift with the wind. And they went right at it. Just one club too much in the end, which is the safest side. To be one club too much instead of too short.
Took a long time over that shot, and they've lost a little bit of position. They have to be careful that they're not put on the clock. But it is understandable that I think this stage of a tournament, you back away a couple of times if you're not sure on such a critical shot in the context of the tournament.
This is definitely a key shot here on 9. Walk away with a par or even possible birdie. Can set you up very nicely for the back 9.
Whilst Jose Maria was deciding, you can bet Ernie was working out he's not going to waste too much time playing his shot.
Oh my goodness me. How can you do that?
178 yards and he's hit it at 177, 2 feet and 9 inches.
He's got nerves of steel, this man.
That will be his 3rd birdie of the day. He will be out in 35 and just 2 behind, and of course back up the hill, Robert Carlson, who's trying very hard not to look at leaderboards. He says the sound of the crowd will tell him what's going on. He will know that Ernie Els has produced a shot that's a touch special. His fellow countryman, Mats Holberg, a fellow countryman of Robert Carlson, that is, a 70. Again, a tall Swede, just about 6'2" or 3. And 9 under, that's a very respectable week's work for Mats.
Well, that one's definitely going left. He leaned on that one, trying to keep it low into the wind, and came over the top of it. He almost quit on it at the same time, I think, there.
It's actually shorter than Ian Woosnam's quick hook.
Yeah, he's a long way back. There's no way he can reach. He'll have to probably either lay up short of the water or hit it way right of the water. It's important to think positive on these shots and really commit yourself. There's not much room for error. There's not much room down there. There's a bunker right and the desert's on the left, directly into the wind. Keep it smooth. Give it your best swing. That's all you can do.
Gone left. Kelly says it's gone left. And it's past the sign into the Bundu. And who knows? And Ernie Els's shot is looking even better than it was, and that's hard to believe. So would Els come through? He's 3 behind at the moment, but on the 9th, the hardest hole on the Emirates course, it could be all about to change.
I could go out and almost do some on-course commentary now, because I think Carson's ball is only about 20 paces from our commentary box.
Off you go then. I'll stay in here. I don't want to miss a shot, because it's a different sort of golf to what we had yesterday, where maybe some of the purists felt the scoring was almost too low. They were just ripping the heart out of the course, but today you can see a little bit of wind on this course and all different skills needed. And Paul McGinley's had a wretched time of it to the turn in 42.
Obviously today that the injury is affecting him an awful lot. It's a cartilage trouble in his chest that's affecting him to turn on the way back and on the way through.
Be surprised to see Paul perhaps not play next week unless he can get treatment in between. He'll probably leave it to the last moment.
And when things are not going your way, it's typical for a putt like that just to catch the hole and lip out.
He's actually, hopefully in a few weeks' time, going to be fit for the Sunningdale Foursomes. He's a Sunningdale resident now, and Andrew Coulthardt's playing in that, Richard Boxall, Derek Cooper. A lot of the pros will be playing in that famous old tournament because there's no European Tour event on that particular week. Although we're here for next year, the calendar already is shaping up very well indeed, and it's a question of almost more tournaments than dates.
I think today we're going to have a few scores in the 80s. I understand Australian Wayne Riley shot 86, was it today?
I can soon find out for you. Hang on a minute. Well, don't go away.
And it started off as such a nice day this morning.
No, he didn't shoot an 86. 87. With a 9 at the last. Goodness me. There are gold coins for Eagles at the last. 2 claims so far by Paul Broadhurst and Gary Evans, but a 9 at 18 for Wayne Riley. Not a good time to ask for an autograph.
Ola Tharball with his third shot on 9. Down the hill very fast. You would have thought that would be 20 feet short, and in the end it's a good little shot. Just rolled by 4.5 feet.
High scoring, we've had 79 for Amy Burns and Portrait Carrington. Sam Torrance a 77, and 82 for David Tapping. 73 for Anders Forsbrand. 71 for Jim Payne. Anything par or better is an excellent round of golf.
Well, after that wonderful second shot on 9 from Else, he's saying, what wind? As this for his birdie on 9. I think they should give him a gold coin for this.
Well, he's number 1 in the Volvo rankings at the moment. He's never been out of the frame. A win. And second place in the playoff and 2/3.
I think he's only the second player we've seen actually hit the green in regulation.
That's right.
On the 9th, and he knocks it to 6 inches.
In fact, let me just correct myself. 2 seconds and 1/3, but he could have won all 4 tournaments.
12th hole, usually playing very long, but it's directly downwind today. Playing as short as he'll ever play. But the player's not used to playing in these conditions.
Seve furious with himself. But this is the 9th again, showing just why it's the hardest hole on the course. And that's the problem, that the players know exactly how far they hit each club, but you know, when the wind blows like this, all the sort of cool, calculated sums go out of the window or are blown away.
Olafable for his par on 9. Pulled that one, I think. Don't think it was a misread.
Olafable out in 35. Carlson, well, he's been fortunate in some ways because he's got a swing, but not much of a lie. He's 60 yards left of the fairway, you know.
Well, I think he's very fortunate actually to find it in that position. And hopefully make his bogey. Because he's still got a lot of golf yet to play for his bogey.
Still a fearsome shot, but you'd take a 5, wouldn't you? Right now, I'm sure he would.
And if that's his ball, that was a tremendous shot from that position. Probably only leaving himself a wedge or a 9-iron. Well, Seve misjudging his second shot on 12. It was downwind, but it's also uphill. This is his 3rd shot on the par 4 12th. He's still below the green quite a lot. Should be able to pitch it on the putting surface, get it to stop.
Seve's fellow countryman, Nacho Garrido, also a wayward driver at 9. He too has just recovered onto the fairway.
Well, that was very un-Seve-like there, opting to pitch it into the fringe. And this fringe can definitely grab the ball from time to time. It's not consistent bounce you get out of the fringe at all. In Wasner 110. Still same shot that Seve, similar result. There's no player will get anywhere near this green in 2 today.
Well, here is the 10th, 502 metres, which in yards 549, out of bounds all the way up the right hand side. But the main problem, if you can get close enough to have a go for the green in 2, is that the green, as you'll see in a moment, is raised and guarded by bunkers, so you can't run it in, you have to fly it all the way. But it's not an option today, as you say, Philip. I call you Philip, that was very polite, wasn't it?
I have been called a lot worse, I must say. This is an interesting shot for Carlson here. He's only probably got about a 9-iron or an 8-iron in his hand. So you want to go at the flag when you got a short club like that, but the position he's in, I'd imagine he'd be aiming some 15-20 feet right of the flag.
He's Going in with a 7-iron, and it looks very good. Not bad at all.
And he's still thinking very positive with that kind of shot.
Latif Hussain has just made a birdie at 18, finished with a round of 76, 3 under, which is not too shabby considering he started with a 75 in perfect conditions.
This was he for his birdie? Oh!
It's the same hole as Seve. There's the goalkeeper in there. Exactly the same result. Horseshoe round and out it came. On a 5-3 in Woosnam. And there was a birdie, a first birdie of the day for Greg Norman. So Norman to 10 under as Garrido has been all the way up to the green there. You can see Tony Adamson from BBC Radio 5 Live out there, out of the press room. That will never do. He hasn't strayed far, mind you. Garrido all the way up to have a look at what he has to do.
He's still got some 40-50 yards left here. All depends on his lie. He's got a bad lie, he might have to land this short of the green. Get it to release. Opting to lob it all the way. I think the wind affected that with the height he gave it. Round about this stage yesterday, I think, where Garrido actually took the lead. 24 hours on, it's a different story.
Yeah, he made a fast start yesterday. Now Per Ulrik Johansson. Not much happened for Per yesterday, and he's 2 over today to the turning 37 and pars all the way since. Because his performance in the first 2 rounds was excellent. I remember he was ill in the World Cup at Kiel Island, had to pull out, and he hasn't really been 100% since. That will help. Birdie to 8 under. There are the putts so far. The second round, the best, obviously 25 putts possible, 33 putts. That was the reason yesterday that he slipped out of contention.
He certainly can have 33 putts when the leaders are taking 26, 27 putts. Almost giving the tournament away just on the greens. Well, after all the drama of this hole, Robert Carlson still has this to save par.
If he misses, he's only 1 ahead of Ernie Els.
Good chance there's going to be a 2-shot swing on this hole between Carlson and Els.
But he's impressed us hugely this week, Carlson. And a little bit of grit. There's some steel inside there.
That was directly downwind. Always difficult to get the pace right.
So this man just 1 behind now.
Putting his ball in position for his 3rd shot on the 10th. No chance of reaching in 2. This is the...
Well, we go back to 9 and Garrido trying to save his par. Vessels dropped the shot at 12, but there's par 13. He's 8 under.
Extremely fast putt, this one, breaking from the right slightly. I think after the tee shot he hit and the tee shot Carlson hit, it Can't complain about making fives on the hole.
No, it could have easily been far worse. But on the final page of my computer leaderboard, that 3 of Ernie Els stands out. A solitary red figure amongst a sea of blue for bogey. Now Stephen Allen. Don't forget, of course, last year whilst we were concentrating on the big names, a little known Australian, Richard Green, came through, and Stephen Allen, the 24-year-old from Melbourne, goes to 13 under. It's only 4 behind.
Looking like he's enjoying it as well, which is very important when you get into this position. Jose Maria with his second shot on 10, just laying up also. Wanted to leave himself a 3/4 to half sand iron. You don't want to get too close to this green because the flag tucked the front left.
Alex Chaker at 16 for a par. He's 3 under today and stays that way. 11 under. 17, they've kept the tee, or moved the tee back a bit. It's still up at 18. But Chaker, a 3-3 finish would give him an interesting couple of hours, perhaps. Carlson dropping his first shot of the day at the 9th. No real disgrace there, except Ernie Els making a birdie at the very same hole in the match ahead, and the gap is just 1. Tharbell knows he's still in it. Stephen Allen also. Garrido not out of it by any means. But all the others needing a little bit of a burst in conditions where birdies are hard to come by.
Back to the 10th.
Hold up, please.
Ernie Els's third shot. This pin only 9 paces on, 4 from the left. Not an easy target to get close, but when you've got a wedge in your hand, it makes it a little easier. See the breeze into the face slightly off the right. No problem getting this to stop reasonably quick. Well, he had it right on target, just misjudged the wind a little bit.
He's given himself an opportunity, isn't he? Now I wonder if Ola Tharbell's perhaps a little too close.
For most players, yes, but this man's a genius with this shot. And it wouldn't surprise me if he could just even punch it in low and still get it to stop quickly. Obviously having the wind into his face makes it a little easier to get it to stop.
Good call from Parkin. Now Woozy at 11 for a much needed birdie. Stays at 11 under.
At the beginning of the day, with Norman and Ian Woosnam playing together, I think a lot of people were expecting fireworks coming from this group, and it's not quite happened.
They were the 2 victims, of course, of the playoff mugging by Richard Green, the 17th, first extra hole 12 months ago. But could it be an Australian name on the trophy again?
Back to 12, the man of the moment. Alan's tee shot.
He's, as I say, born in Melbourne, but his parents are from Edinburgh, and they emigrated down under in 1969.
A wise decision, I think, Steve. Wonderful country, Australia.
Well, you'll be upsetting. I've upset the Swedes. You'll be upsetting the Scots. Well, here we are at 10. Ernie Els first to putt.
I think all those hundreds of years ago, I think they got it wrong in Britain. They sent the criminals south to Australia. I think the criminals should have stayed in Britain. And all the nice people gone down to Australia, but I'm sure there still are lots of nice people down there. Anything else has this Forest birdie on 10. Should break slightly from his left. This is the hole. It's got a goalkeeper in it.
Just past the left-hand post. I guess pars will do. Olathabal was annoyed that yesterday he didn't take advantage of the par 5s at 65, and he was level par for the 4 5s. Anything else? I suppose a par the long hole feels like a shot dropped. He hasn't got the sweater on. He must be feeling a little better, Olathabal. Wind blowing, but the sweater off, and because of the flu, just took 15 minutes to warm up, prepare, which is much about, I suppose, 20% of what time they'd normally take at least.
I think it's important for him to save his energy, but he's walking a lot quicker, he's a little brisker, looking quite sharp. This is probably a left lip putt.
Come on, move.
Hit it outside the hole. When you have a wedge in your hand, you're hoping to make birdie from that position. Could be crucial at the end of the day.
Just a couple of 5s. No change for Nelson Olathabal. Robert Carson remains 1 ahead, back down on the 10th. This is Lee Westwood looking for a birdie at 13. That gets him to 10 under. Back to level par for the day. There was a birdie there also for, well, there wasn't. There was a birdie appearing for Darren Clark, but not confirmed at the moment. Clark, who stood on the tee at 9th under, so advantage just to Westwood, and as we see that Darren Clark's had a 6, so he slipped back to 8 under.
Alan's second shot on 12, downwind.
Well, that's safely on. Difficult conditions out there, and perhaps the best round of the day or the week for Colin Montgomery, 69 with 3 birdies and not a single bogey, and he's at 18 talking to Andrew Castle.
Colin Montgomery, 5 times European #1, former owner of this rather handsome trophy here. A round of 69 today, Colin. You can't do much better than that. That's super golf.
No, there was a 64 in this morning, but I believe that it was slightly calmer than it is now. 69 was good today. No bogeys. That's the most important thing. I don't take much heed of the fact that I make birdies. It's the amount of bogeys that I don't make, and none today was good.
And I think you felt it was a bit of a putting contest, didn't you, for the first 3 days or so? Nice to see some, well, nasty, aren't they, conditions out there?
Yes, it is nasty, and I think it's good to see the courses come back again. There's a severe lack of rough. I believe this course is very heavily played throughout the year on buggies, and I believe they go all over the rough and flatten it out, and it's a shame, but yeah, I'd like to see the course tougher in future, and I think they will do. I think they'll grow the rough and keep the buggies off it a month before we come, and it'll help us.
Believe you'd take greens like this every week in Europe?
Take them in Europe, take them anywhere. I think they take them in the States this way. I think these greens are, if not one of the best, if not the best in the world, and superb greens staff that do this.
Now, you've already been to the States, winning the Anderson Consulting, just another cool million.
Yeah, that'll be right.
Looking forward to returning?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I go on Tuesday morning to Miami. I'm there for 7 weeks this particular run, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think I'm playing okay. I'm confident. It's just a matter of scoring, and looking forward to trying to get my first win in the States and a 72-hole competition, and I'm looking forward to that.
Wait a minute, leaving on Tuesday for 7 weeks, that takes us into May.
Yeah.
There's somewhere else you might have to be. They don't always come on time, you know.
Yeah, they don't. Well, I might have to come back early. My wife's expecting the first week in May, so I might have to withdraw from the Hilton Head tournament. But it depends how it is. If I make it by a few days, that's okay.
Pick a winner here.
Pick a winner here. I think get into the back nine. Els is one behind, and Carlson's I believe just bogeyed 9 there. You've got to favour him. He's playing so well, and he's so relaxed. I think you've got to favour him right now. Alazabal, if he holds a couple of putts, but you've got to favour Ernie right now.
Colin, thank you very much. Coffee awaits in the Players' Lounge. Thanks.
Thank you.
Always good value, Colin Montgomery, and everybody in Europe, I know, hopes that that first major comes along in 1998, and if it does, I think 1 or 2 more might follow fairly sharply. There's a situation still at the top of the leaderboard with Ernie Els, Colin Montgomery's pick, just 1 behind Robert Carlson. And as Colin said, Ernie looking very relaxed, but don't forget this man, Stephen Allen, sneaking up maybe on the blind side for birdie at 12.
I think after the statement that Colin made about needing rough out there, next year I think there's going to be plenty of rough, but Ken Glover, who's the green superintendent, needs prior warning and actually has to overseed the rough in order to get it to the height that Colin was talking about.
Well, from the tee, Robert Carlson found a bunker. So this is third shot, not in ideal position by any means.
Still got a very long shot in for his third on 10 here. Starting it off to the right, hoping the wind brings it back.
He has to get it spot on, no room for error, and into this trap, guarding the approach to the green. So,
Els is looking very good now. On 11. 11th hole, playing 160 yards today. Pinned up tight left, not easy to get close.
may not be easy, but if anyone can, Ernie can.
He only ever sees the flag, doesn't he? Well, Garrido was in the desert on 9. Looks like he's doing it here on 10 as well.
I also found the same trap from the tee as playing partner Robert Carlson.
A lot depends on his lie. Doesn't look too bad, but a lot of people have been trampled in around there.
It's okay, can ground the club, it's not a bunker as such, it's a waste area.
Looks like he made good contact with that one.
Has he got the length right? Not quite, must have looked very good to Ignacio standing back, but again follows Carlson into the trap.
You see he didn't opt to ground the club. And definitely hit the ball first, made good contact, just misjudged the wind. Kept good rhythm. Back to 11. The wind coming severely from the right hand side on this hole.
They just cope so well. You'd have to be here, stood outside, to realise how difficult it is. It's the way the 11th is, out of bounds on the right, not really a factor as Ernie Els for birdie, not this time. Keeping half an eye on Alex Jakey. He's made pars at 16 and 17, so it's still at 11 under.
I think it's about time for Jose Maria to start really getting involved with this tournament right now. This to tie for second place with else. Shouldn't be much movement, maybe inside right.
Yes, he wasn't. He wanted to walk after it, and he thought, well, I'm not going to tempt Providence. That's a 2 for Olafable. He's back to 16 under, sharing second place with Ernie Hours, just one behind Carlson, who's in the bunker, having played 3 at the par 5 10th. You can see Stephen Allen through 12, making that putt back for his par.
Being Muslim on 12. His second shot. Wonderful there.
We just had a couple of pars since that disastrous 6 at the 9th. No, Garrido's already played. It's about 7 feet short. And Carlson not actually in the trap. Now, I'm not sure if that's an advantage or not.
All depends on the lie. If he's got a good lie, he probably fancies getting this at least very close, maybe in the hole.
The lie was good.
Yes.
and there was a bit of skill involved as well.
Well, that goes without saying. These players, if they have a good lie around the green, they really fancy the chances of making it. If they have a bad lie, you can still almost guarantee they get it within 3 or 4 feet.
Well, we didn't see it, but Seve Ballesteros hold quite a longish putt to save his par at 12, and here he is at 13, making a birdie, second of the day, 1 under for the final round, 12 under, just 5 behind. It's not out of the question just yet.
Well, that was a very fast little chip shot that Norman had on 12 there.
Not easy to keep himself motivated. Professional pride and all of that. Was a winner for the first time in Europe back in 1977, but he's really only interested in winning. John Mulrooney is Jose Maria Olazabale's caddy, and had that patient wait whilst Ali was out of action for 18 months.
Well, this 12th hole is playing incredibly short. Its yardage is 467 yards, and most of the week it's playing its full length, but there's strong wind downwind, and even taking his iron off the tee. I would imagine the thinking behind the iron is that it's important to hit your second shot off the fairway, because if you're downwind out of the rough, it's probably difficult to get the ball to stop on the green. So the number one thought in his mind then was to hit the fairway.
Now he's just going to get up there as far as he can. Driving distance, well, that's interesting. After 3 rounds, Olazabale out driving Ernie else. That's just on the 2 holes that they select. We think that Ollie might be hitting close to flat out, and Ernie probably only in his 3rd gear.
Ernie looks like he swings at 50% all the time, but when at impact, there is a lot of clubhead speed.
Well, up he goes, and technically that's in the rough, but I don't think that's really going to affect the shot. It's very flimsy.
You can see his swing here. Wonderful shoulder turn, good resistance from the legs. And it's like an unwind. It's not a hit, it's an unwind. And the ball
Ball just gets in the way, doesn't it? And then on its way. Garrido then at 10 for a 5. It's 2 bogeys in a row and 5 in all so far today. And Garrido is slipping back to 12 under alongside Seve Ballesteros.
Solid golf from Jose Maria here. Just the one blemish on the 9th, which you can't blame. The most difficult hole on the golf course. 2 birdies.
And Garrido just tidying up for his 6 at 10. Carlson just wanting to change his ball and just checking with his playing partner as you must. Probably scraped it coming out of the first bunker when he played his second shot.
And if you want to change your ball, you have to damage it on that particular hole. If you damage on the previous hole and tee it off on the next, you can't change it until the end of the hole.
So, well, we've all learned something today then.
Carlson tidying up for his par.
Well, not that far behind. That was on tape. And here's Carlson on 11.
Most players will be starting this to the right edge of the green, letting the wind bring it back.
Not much applause for that. That deserved a little bit more, really.
After the previous 2 shots, Olazabal knocking it to about 4 feet and else, just missing the pin as it was rolling past. I think they were expecting something similar with that one.
They're hard to please. Now, Woozy. Makes his 3 at 12 and back to 12 under. He's a gritty little character. He hasn't given this up by any means, has he?
When you're capable of playing the golf he is, he probably thinks he can birdie every hole even in these conditions. Back to Olazabal with his second shot on 12. You can see Elsa's ball some 40 yards ahead after Olazabal just using the iron off the tee. Difficult to get the right club. You can see the flag in the distance blowing strongly from the left and helping. This shot is quite severely uphill.
Bounce, but it's okay.
Don't think he'll be all that pleased with himself, really, having hit the iron off the tee to be that far away in 2.
No, they do set themselves such high standards.
Elsa's ball looks as though it's sitting down a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if he can get it to stop on the green.
Interesting to see the photographers out behind Ernie Els. Maybe they think this is the man who's going to win this Dubai Desert Classic.
Not an easy shot from there, not much green to work with. got his work cut out to make his par.
Certainly will, because the wind's not going to do him any favours. It's a little across, but will be basically behind as well. Alex Chaker, third shot, just ran out of fairway and into the water on the right, not the water guarding the green. Could still get away with a 5. Maybe better.
But that looked good from his angle, straight over the top of the flag.
It's a traditional last day pin placing on 18.
Lee Westwood on the par 3 15th, playing 186 yards today.
Still 10 under. Both he and Darren Clark made par 4s at 14.
Pinned up tight left, at the back of the green, tight left. It's not easy to get it close. The wind is off the left and slightly into.
This is the way it's played. No holes in one. Just the 59 birdies, and just a fraction below its par of 3. Not a bad shot. I mean, Lee and probably Darren, they're trying to finish with a charge, trying to get as far up the money order as they can.
Yeah, that was an aggressive shot there by Lee. Wind didn't bring it back quite as much as he was hoping for. This is interesting here on 14. Most players don't even know there's water on the left of the 14th green.
He's not in the wet stuff, but little mini miracle required.
Let's see if he plays this with soft hands. He's got such a good touch. Well, that is not Seve-like at all, is it?
Certainly isn't, no.
Carson back on 11, just for his birdie. It's a fairly fast putt, this one. Slightly down the hill, should break a little bit from his right.
Well, here's another look. Clinton Whitelock is 72. Respectable in these conditions. And 70, 71, 67, 72 for Clinton. He's had a good week, 8 under. Oh. Everything was going in yesterday for just about everybody, and the whole fight's back.
They've all got goalkeepers in them. That would have been a bonus, though. It wasn't the easiest of putts, downhill, downwind.
No, it's another par. And Ernie Els in a little bit of trouble. Putt them for a share of the lead for Ola Tharbel, but again, if this goes in, it will be a real bonus.
Big break from the right, almost putting the entire distance across the green.
Well, he would have stayed down and again watched the line, but
It makes you wonder now whether he wishes he hit his driver off the tee, was a little bit more aggressive from the tee instead of with the putt. Now this one's really tricky. Has to land it short of the green in the fringe. And anything can happen, just like it did. Back to 14. So this must be for his bogey. What a shame. Now else on 12 for his par. The putts are not quite going in for anyone today.
And Only slips a couple behind. Imperative then that he makes his birdie at 13, where he almost lost the ball yesterday. That's one for the crowd.
Jose Maria has this one to save his par on 12, trying to do something that Ernie couldn't do. Going to break slightly from the left.
Garrido a drop shot at 11 and 11 under, 6 behind Carlson in the final match.
With a breeze like this, you want to be positive with the putts, but it's very difficult.
How important that might be. Second on his own. Cabrera also a 6, playing with Seve Ballesteros at 14. Argentinian 5 under, Seve 10 under. Andrew Olcott, we haven't seen him today, but he's just 2 over, playing 13 or through 13, and at 9 under overall with Jose Caceres, his playing partner. Well, there's a goalkeeper in the lake as well.
Well, we were saying earlier that the players need a little bit of good luck out there because it's very difficult, and I think there's a big piece of luck on that one.
Alex Jaker, a par at the last in the end, despite driving into the water of 69. There was an eagle for Stephen Richardson at 74, but he walks away with a gold coin. And a steady week under his belt, 6 under he finishes, and there's Jaker in the clubhouse at 11 under now. Well into the top 10 and one ahead of Colin Montgomery, who had been leading in the clubhouse. Not easy out there. And Andrew Olcott, confirmation he and Jose Caceres at 9 under. Greg Norman at 9 under, not having a good day. David Guilford at a 64 much earlier, up into the top 20, 8 under alongside Clinton Whitelaw.
Here we see the 15th par 3. The pin today is tucked tight left, difficult to attack it, especially with the wind blowing from the left. All that desert area down there, it's not a bunker, it's a desert. Don't want to end up down in that position. And here we have Seve on the tee. It's playing very difficult today. .186 yards, wind very strong off the left. Seve capable of any shot, whether he's going to hold it into the wind or start it left and let the wind bring it back. Good looking swing.
Still very difficult to call this one. So that we don't get this Shamil tomorrow when we play here, Parkin.
Yeah.
We have a bit more luck with our golf than we did with trying to get hold of some shirts, but that's another story. There's the clubhouse.
Well, we might be able to play in some shirts tomorrow. Looking forward to playing.
And we've a couple of days of golfing and lazing around various pools, and then up to Qatar for the newest tournament on the European Tour schedule. Looking forward to that. Now to the 13th green and Stephen Allen for a birdie, and to go to 14 under.
Very mature round of golf from Stephen Allen today.
Got a good break with the ball bouncing off the rocks back into play, and he makes the most of it. 3 behind. There's Edinburgh Jimmy, Paul McGinley's. Oh, well done. Yeah, he's seen it all before.
And praise from Edinburgh Jimmy is praise indeed. He doesn't give it very often.
Well, he might have known his mum and dad, you see.
Garrido coming out of the semi-rough for his second on 12. Just hitting a 7-iron.
No, he's not having a good day, is he? And sometimes that just happens. You just lose your timing a little. And,
Well, you can't always go out there and feel 100%. And the best players in the past have managed to go out there and still fight for a good score. But in conditions like this, if you're not quite with it, it's almost impossible to shoot a good one. Paul McGinley in pain, just tidying up there on the 13th.
His first birdie of the day, and he's 7 over for a round that hopefully will end a little better than that.
Robert Carlson still with the lead. Had it for a very long time this week. Second shot on 12, only hitting a wedge. Ended up in the same position as Olazabal. And Olazabal knocked it 6-7 feet past from that position.
The trials and tribulations of Greg Norman. Second into 13.
You see how windy it is there, and it's a warm wind throwing the sand into your face. I haven't seen many players hit this green in 2.
Well, I think he's too far back, but if he could knock it in for eagle, then you would not entirely rule him out. This is Darren Clark.
Darren Clark with a slightly different dress position over the last couple of days. He usually stretches out for the ball and he's got his hands very close to his body. He's just having a little experiment over the last couple of days, and this caddy says he hits it better from that position. So can't wait to see what happens in the next few weeks. Back to William Woosnam on 13.
Into the trap.
If the players had a chance to have a practice round with this kind of wind, I'm sure they will be getting the clubs right and knocking the ball a lot closer, but I don't think they've ever played the course with this kind of wind. This was Lee Westwood's second shot on 16.
Of the 20 players left out on the course, only 3 are under par. That's how tough it is.
Well, Seve's got a 30-40 foot putt here for his birdie on 15. Not realistic chance. And nice if it goes in after that double bogey on the last. He had the line as well. Must be very disappointing for Seve. He's played so well all week, getting up there, staying in the top 6 or 7, and then 5 holes from the end throws in a double bogey. But still a few holes left, and he'll be expecting a few birdies. Robert Carlson's looking at this putt from all directions. Must be some 20 paces away from the hole, and there's a huge break from the right. Strong wind from the left. Difficult to get the right pace.
You'd rather be here than where Matthew Garrido was, left and has already played 3, not yet on the putting surface. They get an idea of the slope. pulls out here just how far short he is.
I think he's quite a way short, some 6 feet at least.
I think he's as far short as Jose Maria was past. To 16, chance for Darren Clark to close the gap to 1 on his playing partner Lee Westwood, who's already putted, didn't make his birdie.
I was talking to Darren Clark at the Dunhill Cup last year, and he was really struggling with his putting, just couldn't get a consistent strike. And he's out here now, and he says he's actually hitting his putts quite nicely. He certainly rolled that one lovely.
Yo.
Oh yes!
Hooray! We're also going to be off to America for a spell. And, had a great year last year without actually winning. So Carlson by 1 from Olathabal, who's one of only 3 players in the top 20 out on the course, under par at the moment, and the final 20 out there. Ernie Els a couple behind, but 13 to come. Keep an eye on Stephen Allen, he's going along nicely. I wonder if Ian Woosnam can get up and down. He feels he needs to get up and down at 13 to keep his chance alive. This is a man they've all got to catch. Well, maybe not quite 6 feet, but not far off 5.
This is a little bit more difficult than the one Olathabal had. Olathabal was hitting back up the hill, and this is slightly downhill from the right.
Lee Westwood made his par at 16. Can Robert Carlson do the same at 12? More important, you feel, for Carlson? Oh. Second bogey of the day. He's not made a birdie, and he just starts to wonder, and he's been caught by Jose Maria Olathabal. They share the lead at 16 under, 1 ahead of Ernie Els. This is Greg Norman for birdie at 13. Remember, he's right on the back of the green. You can see the marker of Ian Woosnam. Pretty good recovery shot from the Welshman.
This tournament's heating up a little bit now. Carlson looked like he was running away with it at one stage, but it was the same situation yesterday when he actually lost the lead completely, but then rallied for 4 birdies in the last 6 holes, and that's exactly what he needs today.
Yes, he's got that confidence, I guess, to come. Carlson. That was only his second bogey at the on the back 9, and ironically on the 12th, where he dropped his only shot of the back 9 yesterday.
He'd be very disappointed today, only hitting a wedge in to the green and ending up with a bogey.
Yeah, he's got 13 to come, where he made an eagle in round 2 and a birdie yesterday, and he's got 17 as well, where he has made birdie all 3 days so far. So there are no reasons to still feel he's not confident, not to feel in despair.
Andrew Alcorn hitting a superb tee shot on the 15th, par 3. He was telling me earlier this week he's driving it well, he's putting great, and hasn't quite got his iron swing, but it looks like he got it right there.
This is Ian Woosnam to go into 5th place. Here we are, he's just 3 out.
Little burst from Ian Woosnam over the last few holes will make it very interesting indeed.
Well, it's 2 birdies in a row. That's his Stephen Allen from the waste area, 14.
Very sensible shot there, wasn't it? He's probably aiming 10 feet right of the flag, and that's exactly where it finished.
They don't back off, these Australians, do they? So perfect position for Olathabal on 13.
He's got a very long shot here. He has about 250 yards. Looks like he's laying up
Just see how much further Ernie Els is on.
Yes.
Water on the right.
I can't see Olafable being able to reach with an iron, so he must be laying up here. That was fairly lofted club. He's probably wanted to leave himself 50, 60 yards short of the green with a wedge in his hand, and as good as he is, I don't blame him. As we saw Ernie Els's tee shot, that must have been a superb shot because it was directly into the wind. Here we have the 13th. The wind blowing straight in their face today. Last couple of days they've been cutting the corner, but today they have to go straight down the fairway.
This was the hole yesterday where Ernie Els almost lost his ball. They were into the 5th minute when they finally tracked it down, and he got away with a 5 in the end.
Yes, it could be a key hole for Ernie Els, especially after hitting such a wonderful tee shot today. And this is his second shot. If he knocks this close, there could be some fireworks over the last few holes.
Well, he will. No, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Well, that's not bad, but it wasn't quite what he had in mind, was it?
Well, there was a strong wind off the right, and it looks like the ball was carried with the wind. And that's why it's gone long left. But still in a good position to make a birdie. But I think he was thinking of an eagle from there.
Well, an eagle would have sent a clear mission statement to the rest of the leaders. It's the way the hole is playing as the easiest on the course over the 4 days. Already 6 eagles, rather more eagles at 18, but not so many bogeys or double bogeys here.
Stephen Allen probably playing as well as anyone right now. This for his birdie to go 15 under par.
He's got it. 3 birdies in 4 holes, and the little Australian moves into a share of 3rd place with Ernie Els, and he's only 1 shot behind now. Your next impression, Richard Green, maybe?
It's looking that way, isn't it? And he's smiling and enjoying it.
Well, he's saying his best performance, and he's only been on the tour 1 year. A share of 4th place at Aroeira in the last year's Portuguese Open. This is a much different affair when you look at the names around him. Olafable and Carlson above, Els and Woosnam just below, but he doesn't at the moment seem to have any sign of nerves, and he's got a great chance.
Well, he's playing probably just as well as they are, or even better at the moment, so no wonder he's got a smile on his face. Jose Maria's 3rd shot to the par 5 13th. That's 60 yards. He likes to punch these usually, wind off the right.
Get in. Oh! Well, that might just be the shot that wins the tournament. Robert Carlson would have heard that. They have heard that around 18. In for an eagle for Jose Maria Olafable. 18 under, and suddenly he leads by 2.
Well, it's something like that could make you win a tournament. What a time to do it.
A good thing started to happen again for Jose Maria here last year when he made his long awaited comeback to the European Tour after all his injury worries and health worries.
Managed to get the check up in the fringe just to perfection.
Olay.
Didn't have much green to work with either.
He'll be feeling a little better now.
That's more like it from Norman on the 14th, but it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, he's now 8 shots behind Jose Maria. On the Spaniard. 3 under par today, almost at a stroke. He's had a good start to the year, a top 3 finish at the Vines in the Heineken and top 20 at Blue Canyon in the Johnny Walker. And when they talk about shot of the week, shot of the day, here it is.
If he wins this tournament, this will be shot of the day. If Els wins it, they'll be showing you this second shot on 9. So there's not many players could have played that one. Pin only 7 paces on.
Imperative then for Ernie to get up and down in 2, and maybe he'll be thinking, well, no, I better do just the same and knock this in.
This is fairly quick, should break a little bit from his left. Going down the tier now.
It's not so far away, just hold on, hold on.
It's imperative for him to roll that one in right now. Stephen Allen on 15th tee. Started it for the middle of the green.
If he gets away with this one,
That's a sensible shot.
then he's got a gambler's chance coming down the stretch. This was probably the hardest of the 4 holes he has left.
Ian Musnam got a good angle to attack the flag on the left of the green on the 14th hole.
Chance of 3 birdies in a row. Suddenly the temperature is rising. Maybe the wind's just dropping a fraction. I'll have to step outside Carruthers and just test that.
So Els for his birdie on 13. You would think he has to knock this one in right now.
It's a must make. Fraction from right to left, and he's missed it. Oh, Ricky Roberts can't believe it. Nor can Ernie. And he walks off.
You could see with
Hugely outdriven Jose Maria Olazabal. 2-shot swing against Ernie Els, and has his chance gone.
you could see with the reaction of his caddy how important that putt was.
There's Darren Clark at 17 for a 3. Would have been 2 in a row.
This is a strange game. You roll one in from 20-25 feet in one hole, and then you miss one on the next from only 4 feet.
Talking to Anthony Wall this morning, he could work it out. He rolled in 3 30-footers and missed a whole host of 8-footers yesterday.
Norman for his birdie on 14. It's a little late now, but it's always nice to make a birdie.
Puts him into a share of 6th place, and Alex Jaker, who leads in the clubhouse at 11 under.
Robert Carson hit a wonderful tee shot here on the 13th. Hitting his drive way over 300 yards, only left himself a 5 iron. The wind is very strong off the right hand side. Wonderful balance on that one. Well, it's a great time to play a shot of that quality.
Not a bad response. Obviously, with the greens being that firm, he couldn't stop it downwind, but he's got a putt for eagle. Lee Westwood at 17. Puts him 1 under for his final round, and he joins Greg Norman and Alex Jaker on 11 under. Hooray.
Ian Musnam for another birdie. This for 3 birdies in a row. On the 14th.
Well, with Olathabal making that spectacular eagle at the 13th, Wisdom, you fancy needs to hold everything, and just again the goalkeeper keeping that one. What a game he's having, this keeper. Wisdom 5 behind, but Carlson's on 13 in 2 and has a putt to draw level with Olathabal again. And we've seen before, the Swede is a tough cookie. He won't be backing off.
This is the 14th. It's this vicious dogleg from the right. You have to carry the left-hand bunker. If you hit it straight, it's 290 yards to reach that water. Most players cutting the corner. We've seen a few in the desert on the left. We've seen Seve and Stephen Allen in the desert left. And today, second shot playing directly into the wind. Jose Maria now on the 14th. Obviously has the honour after his eagle on 13. Looks like he's got a 3-wood. Into perfection. Probably hitting a 3-wood guard in against the water that is 290 yards away.
Obviously got his game plan worked out with an iron off the 12th tee.
Now else has to produce something very special over the final few holes. Also hitting the 3-wood off the tee.
And back on 13, and a putt to once again tie the lead for Robert Carlson. This is for eagle also. Will be a more conventional 3.
This putt extremely quick. Shouldn't be too much break on this putt. But he has to go down a tier, about 2/3 of the way to the hole. There's a tier he has to go down.
Picking up a little bit of pace and want to take the birdie. From over.
Back to 17.
So he's still at 10 under. Pars at 15 and 16.
Norman fresh from a birdie on 14. Needs to more than a birdie on this hole. 186 yards. Wind strong from the left. Pin tucked tight left. Started it right. He's trying to draw it into the wind. And he's played it very nicely indeed.
Rather like Colin Montgomery, if Greg Norman's putter had really been a little warmer, would have been a lot closer.
Carlson for his birdie on 13, this to get within 1.
behind the leader, and 2 ahead of Allen and Els, who are in 3rd. Stephen Allen, by the way, made his par at 15, got down in 2 putts. 3 to go. Big finish required. Not another question. Let's take a look at Stephen Allen on the 15th. This was his birdie attempt.
I must say, Steve, I'm actually looking forward to playing on this course. These greens look so good. It's a long time since I've played on greens of that quality. Back to 14. The breeze has calmed down a little bit. Still got 160 yards left. And he's very handy at drawing the ball. Probably start this one middle of the green and hit a little draw, feeding it into the flag.
It's on target. Set of clubs in the bag. Gregor Irons, he's been trying out for Jose Maria. This was not quite 12 months ago. Maspalomas and the Canaries, Gran Canaria. It had been a great comeback. And what an emotional moment this was. There have been times when surely Jose Maria himself believed that he may never come back, play this game he loves again. And understandably there was a tear in the eye. Well, since then, the Ryder Cup and all its glory. I wonder if the challenge is going to come from early, perhaps not.
After Ernie missing the putt on the last, needed something to happen on 14, and it wasn't to knock it in the bunker, that's for sure. Back to 15. Ian Woosnam's playing very well right now.
Yeah, he's got to knock it close. Not bad. Yeah, looking forward to playing on these greens. As you say, they're excellent. Enjoyed the greens down in South Africa when we played the River Club and Kensington and Beechwood down there in Durban. They were excellent in their own way. Roger Vessels from Houghton in South Africa. He's just finished with a birdie at the last, around a 73, finishes at 8 under. But Olafable leading by 1 from Carlson at the moment. Ernie Els in trouble in the bunker at 14. And, Ian Woosnam needs a birdie burst to finish. Who knows? Greg Norman may take a 2 at 15 as well. And an eagle or 2 at 18 for 1 or 2 of those names might make it a little more interesting. It's hardly dull now.
Back to 14, Carlson's tee shot. Having to cut it over the corner of the desert.
His driving looks a lot better than yesterday.
Well, the first 2 days he played probably perfect golf. You couldn't fault him. Everything was so pure. And then yesterday he hit a few loose ones in the middle of the round, but managed to get it together and came back.
Yeah, a loose one at the 9th, didn't he, today? And 10 he found sand off the tee as Greg Norman.
It's been like that all week for him, hasn't it?
Yes.
Playing superb tee to green, but if you can't knock the putts in, you're not going to win.
It'll be a good time for Ernie Els to hold a bunker shot. There's ever a bad time.
I don't think I had a very good lie with the way the ball reacted when it came out. No spin whatsoever. we have the 16th hole. Reasonably straightforward hole here. And today it's directly downwind. They're playing extremely short. Most players hit it up the fairway with a little draw as it turns. Most drives will be going around about here today with just going in with a little wedge. And we see the lovely clubhouse in the background. Swimming pool behind those trees. No one's swimming this week. It's been banned, putting the players off.
This is where we find Stephen Allen. He's playing as well as anybody.
Stay there, there's a tier there. Stay there.
A chance for birdie number 4 since the turn, and the 6th of the round. And there's the scene of the clubhouse and the hospitality units, and nobody's moving. Lunch is just about over, and everybody's starting to look out of the windows and see the golfers coming home. And what drama we could have at 18, which the tee up again today, encouraging players to go for it. It may be that somebody has to make an eagle to have a chance of a playoff or to win the tournament. And in that situation, it's a fabulous closing hole. You can see Colin Montgomery out a lot earlier. He's off to America on Tuesday at 69, blemish free today. But this to lead by 2.
The wind's calmed down a little bit now, so it's a good chance we might see quite a few birdies over the last 4 holes. Any else has this though for a par on 14.
Chance is gone. Surely. Back to 14 under 4 behind Ola Tharbul. And of course 3 behind Carlson. Now he may catch 1. It's asking a lot to catch 2.
With 9 holes to go, he was looking pretty much the favourite.
I wonder if Stephen Allen realises how important these putts are becoming. I'm sure he does.
This putt's slightly up the hill. Get there, get there, get there.
Oh.
Yes!
Oh, 16 under now, and just 2 behind, and he's got 17, 18 to come. A chance to post a target. Isn't it good to see? I do love to see a player when they're playing well, enjoying it.
Well, it's just great fun for him right now, especially with the quality of golf he's playing.
Ignacio Garrido, 3 bogeys in a row from the turn, but 4 at 13 just to stop the rot. He's in a share of 6th place at 11 under, but clearly hasn't had a good day. 5 over for his final round.
Garrido didn't cut the corner, so he's left himself 180 yards left. Wind calming down a little bit. He's hitting off a downslope. Probably get there with a 6-iron. That's a fine shot.
So to 15.
Just notice the flags then. Looks like the wind's actually changed direction.
Well, the sand seems to have gone, so maybe it switched round and coming off the golf, off the sea now.
So now we're back to the wind we've been having all week.
What's that mean, do you think, in terms of what's going to happen in the next half hour or so?
Well, they'll be a lot more comfortable with the club selection, that's for sure. And there's really not much breeze there, so makes it easier to make birdies. And they don't have sand in their eyes anymore either. Jose Maria is trying to look to see what's happened with the wind. 15th hole, 186 yards.
Pushed a fraction and lifted himself a long putt.
He's probably going for the middle of the green and then just pushed it a little bit. Carson on 14, his second shot from the perfect position. Just hitting a 9-9 after a wonderful tee shot. A little bit of safety involved there, but still a birdie chance. Else on 15 has to start attacking the flag now. Be a smooth 6-iron for Ernie. Very calm out there right now. It was like it this early this morning when David Guilford went out and shot his 64.
That's the gold coin worth about $400 for an eagle and 18. One of those players needing one when it's their turn. First though, this is Lee Westwood looking to collect the fourth down. I think there are only 4 available each day, so it may be the last one. Made a good putt at 17. Can he do it again at 18? Not far away.
I think the gold coins that haven't been won in previous days are actually carried forward in today. So I think there are quite a few available. But with a pin position like that, I don't think many people are going to collect them.
Just a couple so far. Well, 3 so far. Broadhurst, Evans and Richardson.
Robert Carson has to play the catch-up game. This is for a birdie on 14. That seemed to bounce as soon as he hit it then. It went straight right.
One of the longer hitters on the European Tour. And he really launched one at 18 yesterday.
Tharbell leaving himself a very long putt here on the 15th.
Just take your minds back to last year. This was the 17th at La Moraleca in the Spanish Open, and everything was happening for Jose Tharbell. Holding, everything didn't go for him. There was a car on offer, but it had already been won by Jose Rodadilla, who driven it away. Probably needed it more. And Jose says, I only drive one car at a time. He's not a materialistic person. Which is why he's got a plain bag, even though he's got the new clubs in there. He's, the clubs have to be right before he makes signs the deal.
Slow down.
No, not bad.
That was such a long putt. That would have been like having a hole in one.
Well, it was a long way away, and again, he would have stayed in and just watched the line. And if you've got that right now, the wind has dropped. I don't say it's a formality, the one back, but he would expect on greens this pure to make that one.
Ernie Els would have got a very good read off that last putt of Olathabel. And one feels he has to birdie every hole coming in from here on in.
No, has that got the pace? It might just have the leg. Oh no. Holes running out for Ernie Els. 4 behind Olathabel. 3 to play. It would need a 3-3-3 finish, and even then might not be good enough.
Westwood finishing in style with his birdie. Very good round today in these conditions.
Yes, that puts him into a share of 6th place and leader in the clubhouse at 12 under. But 6 shots behind this man at the moment. And still 6 behind. Routine for Olathabel, par at 15.
Man of the moment right now, Stephen Allen with his 2nd shot into 17. Just hitting the sand iron. Pin tucked tight right.
Wasn't that bad a shot. We just pushed it a little bit, with the wind changing direction, just pushing it a fraction as well. And he misses 17, so unlikely to be a birdie for Allen. He needs, or will require, something special at 18. Olathabel 1 ahead of Carlson, 1 hole ahead also. Ernie Els, as I say, it's got to be a 3-3-3 finish. He's got to pick up surely 4 shots in the last 3 holes.
Well, you don't expect Olathabel to make any mistakes, and you would imagine he might pick up at least 1 more birdie. Difficult chip shot. Get in, get in, yes!
Well, hold on, 17 under for Stephen Allen, and just everything's going right. That's 4 birdies in 5 holes, 5 since the turn. He's 5 under today, 17 under, sharing 2nd place, and he's only 1 behind Olathabel.
Well, we're just saying the other players need something to happen. Olathabel's not going to throw it away. But I don't think we're expecting something like that.
The kid with the freckles, up among the big boys.
Back to 16. 16th hole, 392 yards. One thing I've noticed this week with Olathabel is his backswing is a lot smoother. Having said that, his backswing's a lot smoother than previous years. He usually takes it back a lot quicker.
He may be okay there. It's in the waist area and didn't seem to clatter into the trees, but the sort of shot you want to be hitting at this moment in time. And it's Stephen Allen's performance is not dissimilar to Richard Green's, because whilst we were concentrating on the Greg Normans and Ian Woosnams, he was steaming through or quietly almost on the blind side. The sand up the fairway, whether that's all been blown back by the wind having turned round. But suddenly the wind looks to have gone up again.
It's a very strange day here in the desert. The wind has changed direction, and usually it doesn't bring any sand with it from that direction, so I'm not sure what's happening right now.
We haven't got a clue. Stephen Allen has. Let's take a look at this again.
It's wonderful when things are going your way. Let's hope he can carry it for one more hole.
Well, we said Ernie Els needed to finish 3-3-3. What if Stephen Allen does? You have to fancy him to make at least a 4. Here's Seve from the back of the 18th.
There's an enormous break from left to right here. The ball going sideways at the end.
He's almost got to hit it into that sort of fringe that sticks out, isn't it?
That's where he'll be aiming, yeah. It still wasn't enough, was it? Rather disappointing day for Seve. He's going very well until the 14th, when he had his double bogey and never really got going again.
Carlson is too good a player to be ruled out just yet. And he's still looking to attack the pins where he can.
That ball looks as though it's got a good lie, so shouldn't be much trouble there.
But it would shock everybody if Stephen Allen were to win this. A little sweepstake in the TV world here at the Emirates. Not sure anybody's picked the Australian. Lots of people were on Robert Carson, lots of people on Ernie Els. Don't think he can putt this, can he?
He's actually on top of a bank, although it's difficult to see with the cameras, but he's probably some 4 feet above the putting surface in the semi-rough. There's no question you have to chip this one and probably land it onto the green.
Meanwhile, Olathable hooked his tee shot. He may have got a little lucky. He has. That's the 10th fairway running in the opposite direction. He's not quite on that, but he's
Well, these trees in front of him actually won't come into play. He's way back from them.
just trying to visualise the shot. The line's a bit hanging, but could have been worse. And the wind that has turned around, and it's now from right to left, and probably as strong as it's been all day, the best part of 30 miles an hour.
Well, we had the calm before the storm. It was calm for 5 minutes. He has to make sure he doesn't try and get a flyer here. That's the only thing that could go wrong with this shot.
It's okay. In fact, it's very good.
This shouldn't be as difficult as I described it earlier. Should be able to land it on the green.
So Carson, every chance of saving his par. Interesting pairings today. Lee Westwood and Darren Clark, they're great mates. They're behind 18 talking to Andrew.
Yeah, the dynamic duo down by the recorder sat. Thank you both for hanging around. Hot, sweaty, dusty, difficult. What do you say, Darren?
Yeah, pretty tough. You know, the wind was picked up and dropped down, so club selection proved very difficult. And again, with the greens as fast and slick as they are, you know, we're relying a little bit of extra break on the greens.
Are you pleased with the way you're playing, though? Back in Europe for the first time in a while, playing?
Yeah, I was up until today. Today I didn't play very well at all. You know, I'd only one birdie in 18 holes and didn't hit the ball particularly well. So overall, I'm quite pleased, but disappointed with today.
How about you, Lee? One of the characteristics of well, being a top player in Europe, of course, is getting up there even though you're not playing perhaps your best. Not spectacular?
I played all right this week. TT Green was pretty good. On the greens, didn't have a lot of luck. The first one I've bowled outside 20 feet was on 17 this afternoon, so a bit disappointed about that, but you can't hold them all week. Maybe next week will be my week on the greens.
Both playing Qatar?
Yes. Yeah.
And after that, is it Masters on the mind?
Yeah, I think we're both off over to America to get play a few tournaments over there in the build up to the Masters. I think he's going to give me a couple of lessons around Augusta. I haven't been yet, and he was there last year. So, you know, any tips he's going to give me, hopefully I'll put to good use.
Didn't have to wait for the invite this time. It was an automatic, wasn't it? Top 24.
Yeah, that's right. It was nice to know I was in, 12 months before. So.
Now listen, the contest that we're all awaiting whilst we enjoy the end of the Dubai Desert Classic is this matchup that we've been hearing about tomorrow. Tell us about it. Lee first.
We're great tennis rivals as well as golf rivals, and we've got a game tomorrow afternoon in Qatar. So anybody wants to come down and watch, it's £12 to get in, and
It's like
complimentary drinks.
it'd be tough to tell the difference between Agassi and Sampras on the court.
Westwood and Clark carrying a few extra pounds, I might say. Listen, any bets out there today?
We didn't actually. I don't know what happened.
we
We didn't. We should have done. Need to take my money again.
Good luck, lads. Look forward to seeing you in Qatar.
So there you are, £12 to get in, 20 to get out.
You beg to get out.
Seve for birdie then at 18. It's for a level par 72. Well, he has to settle for a 73. He finishes at 10 under at the moment, sharing 10th place with Colin Montgomery. Overall, though, it's been a good week for Seve Ballesteros. Perhaps a little light at the end of the tunnel. Good to have him back.
Jose Maria on the 16th is for birdie. Has to go up a tier. And now, right, it's not just Carlson he has to worry about, it's Stephen Allen ahead of him. We have Carlson to save his par on 15.
Carlson suddenly slips 2 behind.
And it wasn't a bad tee shot either, really. Hit the green, just didn't stop. Just released through a little bit. Hit a nice chip shot. And it was just bad timing. Very disappointing there for Robert. He thought it was a straight putt and there's a break from the right.
Everything else has already played and just a par.
Jose to save par on 16, just to stay in the lead on his own.
Goodness me. We've got a tie at the top, and it's Jose Maria Olazabal and Stephen Allen. Is an Australian going to steal the Desert Classic for the second year running? What do you do if you're Stephen Allen? Well, you won't know what's happened to Olazabal. All of last year he won just over £80,000, a good rookie season, and well, even second prize this week is 85,000, more than he won in a year. But do you go for glory?
I think Stephen's on the crest of a wave right now. He's going with the flow, and I think all he's thinking about on 18 is birdie.
Well, if he makes birdie, it leaves Olazabal needing 2 birdies to beat him.
It's looking right now as though there might be another playoff.
Well, this is perhaps the most important drive of Stephen Allen's golfing life, only his second year as a pro. Away to the right. As you say, he's swinging well, draw it round.
Carry, carry, carry. came out.
Well, he's okay. He may not get on in 2.
Be a brave man if he went from for it from there.
Well, I mean, I just wonder. You say, well, I'd love to win it, and that would be great, 2-year exemption, the prize money, but
He's probably only got 200 to the front edge. So if he's got a good lie, you never know.
we shall see. Is it close to the answer being disturbed again? Has Carlson blown his chance?
All the caddies throwing up the grass, not really knowing what's going on today with this wind. Coming from all directions.
Well, Ernie's been tempted to go for this on a couple of occasions, not really rewarded walking off with a par each time, so no question this time laying up with the iron.
I think I'm gonna swing like that tomorrow, Steve.
Me too. Well, Jose Maria made a birdie here yesterday on his way to a 65, having made 2 pars the previous 2 days. He won't know where Stephen Allen is off the tee at 18, more concerned with his own game. Made his birdie yesterday by laying up, hitting a perfect wedge in.
Robert Carson's second shot to 16. Just coming out of the semi-rough. Only has 120 yards left. Just not going his way right now.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Well, the lie must be good. He thinks he can get there. There's a little 3 or 4 wood.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. If the lie was good, he certainly can reach.
Just bang it into the through the green if you have to.
Oh no, it doesn't. Oh no! Oh,
Goodness.
dear.
Ah. He'll be playing 3. He could still say par, but
Well, he's been playing so well over the last 9 holes that obviously full of confidence. Thought he could pull the shot off. But there's still a chance he can make par.
I mean, it's so easy from here, and I just hope he hasn't thrown the tournament away. It would be. Well, we shall see. Well, Olathar will make a birdie and win it anyway, but a moment that might haunt Stephen Allen. He's in the water at 18 for 2 when he was sharing the lead in the Dubai Desert Classic.
Just needs to calm himself down a little bit now. He'd be really annoyed with himself. I think he was definitely capable of the shot. I think he just came up off it a little bit, anxious to see where it went.
It will be a moment for an experienced caddy as well, just to make. It's important where he drops, how far back he goes, because it's still a tricky pin, even as we saw with Ian Woosnam, of course, last year.
Back on the tee, Craig Norman.
Norman's just dropped the shot at 17 and slipped back to 11 under. Just has to ascertain where the ball crossed the line, keeping that point in line with he and the pin, and sensibly he's going, but he can go back as far as he likes, and he wants to leave himself a full shot, a shot that he's comfortable with.
Yeah, situation like that, you don't really want to leave yourself just a half a sand iron. You want to hit a full shot. Like Els has left himself here on 17. 126 yards, but it's downwind, so only a sand iron.
A very good one.
Well, he's taking his time, which is a good thing right now.
Suddenly this shot becomes a bit harder because he might just have glanced across the lake, middle of the scoreboard, middle of the lake, and just thought, goodness, I would have realised that he was sharing the lead. Let's to get this clear. It must make a par.
Yeah, lovely swing on that one. Bite.
Come on.
Great shot. Super shot there.
Well, that was as good as the previous shot was poor.
Well, he's a very mature young man. He kept himself composed. Walked back, left himself a full sand iron. Kept his concentration very good indeed.
He's still shaking his head. He thinks the chance is gone, but it may not have gone. Because if he knocks that putt in, and well, it's all ifs, but you know, the scenario could be that Olathabal will have to make the decision to go for the birdie at 18.
It's definitely reachable in 2 quite easily today.
In normal circumstances, though, but even the great players like Olathabal must be feeling the pressures that come down the 18. Mixed emotions, I guess, for Stephen Allen.
He'll be determined to make that putt, but it's a very slick putt indeed. Back to 17. A fine shot from Jose Maria. Well, Roberts' ball looks as though it really got into a nasty lie.
Well, we've seen Stephen Allen have a chip in. Jose Maria hold a pitch, but nothing happened for Robert Carson. In fact, that rough looks fairly innocuous, but that returned the club head.
Well, it's Bermuda grass, and if the ball does actually sink down, it can be really severe. I suppose if this putt goes in, it's almost his tournament. It's not the easiest of greens to read.
For the lead again then.
Slightly up the hill, should break a little bit from his right.
Oh. Stephen Allen may be playing for second place now. Perfect response to that 3 putt at 16. Birdie for Olathabal. He leads by 1 again.
A remarkable performance from Olathabal this week, sorry. Temperatures of 102 degrees the first day, 101 the second day. Yesterday felt terrible. He's still going, he's leading by 1.
Carlson trying to save par at 16, and this final 2 ball have been rather left behind in all the excitement happening ahead, and Nacio Garrido's chances went early. And Robert Carlson's sadly seemed to be going the other way. Now can see Ernie Els, having watched Farble's putt go in on the same line, still can't buy a birdie. Hasn't made a birdie at all on this back nine.
There's still an important putt here for Stephen Allen.
Well, as I say, it goes back to second place, £85,000. That guarantees the card for this year quite comfortably. And there's a springboard for an exciting season. He would believe that the breakthrough win might not be so far away. Third place is 48,000, so that would still just about be enough to keep the card. I don't know. I mean, we played the third shot so well, you wonder why he didn't. Hindsight is such an easy thing.
Jose Maria did birdie 17, so he really had to go for it, I suppose. Saw his chance, went for it, just didn't happen. But this to save par.
Deserves this.
Oh. That was very fast putt, wasn't it? I think if you do lose a tournament, it's always best to lose it going for it, instead of always backing off and wondering if you had gone for it, maybe you could have won the tournament.
Well done. It's still a 68 despite that closing bogey for Stephen Allen. He finishes on 272, 16 under, and maybe good enough for second place. I think that shot into the water probably opened the window of opportunity for Jose Maria Olazabal. But even so, it's been a great week for the Aussie.
Sure, they were getting very excited back home in Melbourne. Carlson, very untidy hole there on 16, making his bogey.
Yeah, 2 in a row. Now he's looking at the leaderboard. Just anywhere on the fairway will do. Doesn't have to be ambitious. A par will be good enough. That looks just perfect. Oh yeah.
A man of experience there. He's very cool. Been there many times before. This was Ineos tapping in for his par.
In fourth place.
Craig Norman going for the green for his second shot on 18. Out of the rough, difficult to stop it on the green. Oh, he's left himself a really difficult shot there. He'll have to land it short of the green and get it to just trickle out onto the putting surface. Be interesting to watch that one.
More interesting to watch it than have to play it.
Anyone else capable of really cutting this dog leg?
Through one tree.
Oh, unlucky.
Got lucky.
He's
and
only
then unlucky.
He's only 6 feet away from where Norman was, but Norman was on the other side of the tree. It makes a huge difference.
And he ain't Richard Green.
Carson's tee shot on 17.
I suppose Carlson could conceivably finish 3-3 and leave Olazabal needing a birdie at the last. But I mean, he's safely in the middle. Would you lay up, or do you just take everything and make sure you're over the water and anywhere in the grandstand or whatever will do, knowing you get a drop?
Well, he's in the position where he could reach if he wanted to. Ian Woosnam was similar last year. He could have reached but opted to lay up.
So it's maybe a last throw of the dice for Robert Carlson if he doesn't make his 3 here. Surely the chance has gone. And again, he hasn't done that much wrong. He was braver over the early holes and then just started to slip away from him.
Going in with Sandown here on 17. Wind off the left slightly. Very aggressive shot there. He's not given up hope of winning this event.
No, he hasn't. If he knocks that in, there could still be a sting in the tail. So Stephen Allen leads in the clubhouse at 16 under despite a bogey at the last. He's 2 behind Jose Maria Olazabal, who's hit the perfect drive, split the fairway at the closing hole. Robert Carlson has a chance of a 3 at 17. Ernie Els, Ian Woosnam, everybody else just playing for place money.
Well, he's taking his time, which is a good thing right now.
And suddenly this shot becomes a bit harder because he might just have glanced across the lake, middle of the scoreboard, middle of the lake, and just thought, goodness. And realised that he was sharing the lead. Let's to get this clear. He must make a par.
Yeah, lovely swing on that one. Bite.
Come on.
Great shot. Super shot there.
Well, that was as good as the previous shot was poor.
Well, he's a very mature young man. He kept himself composed. Walked back, left himself a full sand iron. Kept his concentration very good indeed.
He's still shaking his head. He thinks the chance is gone, but it may not have gone. Because if he knocks that putt in, and well, it's all ifs, but you know, the scenario could be that Olazabal will have to make the decision to go for the birdie at 18.
It's definitely reachable in 2 quite easily today.
In normal circumstances, though, but even the great players like Olazabal must be feeling the pressures that come down the 18. Mixed emotions, I guess, for Stephen Allen.
He'd be determined to make that putt, but it's a very slick putt indeed. Back to 17. A fine shot from Jose Maria. Well, Robert's ball looks as though it really got into a nasty lie.
Well, we've seen Stephen Allen have a chip in. Jose Maria hold a pitch, but nothing happened for Robert Carlson. In fact, that rough looks fairly innocuous, but that turned the club head.
Well, it's Bermuda grass, and if the ball does actually sink down, it can be really severe. I suppose if this putt goes in, it's almost his tournament. It's not the easiest of greens to read.
For the lead again then.
Slightly up the hill, should break a little bit from his right.
Oh. Stephen Allen may be playing for second place now. Perfect response to that 3-putt at 16. Birdie for Olafable. He leads by 1 again.
A remarkable performance from Olafable this week, sorry. Temperatures of 102 degrees the first day, 101 the second day. Yesterday felt terrible. He's still going, he's leading by 1.
Carlson trying to save par at 16, and this final 2-ball have been rather left behind in all the excitement happening ahead, and so Garrido's chances went early. Rob Carlson's sadly seemed to be going the other way. Now can Ernie Owes, having watched Olafable's putt go in on the same line, still can't buy a birdie. Hasn't made a birdie at all on this back nine.
There's still an important putt here for Stephen Allen.
Well, as I say, it goes back to second place, £85,000. That guarantees the card for this year quite comfortably. And there's a springboard for an exciting season. You would believe that the breakthrough win might not be so far away. Third place is 48,000, so that would still just about be enough to keep the card. I don't know. I mean, we played the third shot so well, you wonder why he didn't. Hindsight is such an easy thing.
Jose Maria did birdie 17, so he really had to go for it, I suppose. Saw his chance, went for it, just didn't happen. But this to save par.
Deserves this.
Oh. That was very fast putt, wasn't it? I think if you do lose a tournament, it's always best to lose it going for it, instead of always backing off and wondering if you had gone for it, maybe you could have won the tournament.
Well done. It's still a 68 despite that closing bogey for Stephen Allen. He finishes on 272, 16 under, and maybe good enough for second place. But I think that shot into the water probably opened the window of opportunity for Jose Maria Olafable. But even so, it's been a great week for the Aussie.
Sure, they're getting very excited back home in Melbourne. Carlson, very untidy hole there on 16, making his bogey.
And 2 in a row. Now he's looking at the leaderboard. Just anywhere on the fairway will do. Doesn't have to be ambitious. A par will be good enough. That looks just perfect. Oh yeah.
Man of experience there. He's very cool. Been there many times before. This was Ineos tapping in for his par.
In fourth place.
Craig Norman going for the green for his second shot on 18. Out of the rough, difficult to stop it on the green. Oh, he's left himself a really difficult shot there. He'll have to land it short of the green and get it to just trickle out onto the putting surface. Be interesting to watch that one.
More interesting to watch it than have to play it.
was capable of really cutting this dog leg.
Through one tree. Oh,
unlucky.
Is that lucky?
He's
Then
only
unlucky.
He's only 6 feet away from where Norman was, but Norman was on the other side of the tree. It makes a huge difference.
And he ain't Richard Green.
Carlson's tee shot on 17.
I suppose Carlson could conceivably finish 3-3. Leave Olazabal needing a birdie at the last, but I mean, he's safely in the middle. Would you lay up, or do you just take everything and make sure you're over the water and anywhere in the grandstand or whatever will do, knowing you get a drop?
Well, he's in the position where he could reach if he wanted to. Ian Woosnam was similar last year. He could have reached but opted to lay up.
So it's maybe a last throw of the dice for Robert Carlson if he doesn't make his 3 here. Surely the chance has gone. And again, he hasn't done that much wrong. He was braver over the early holes and then just started to slip away from him.
Going in with Sandown here on
5 under coming to that point. Were you aware of what was going on in the tournament, presumably?
Yeah, I did. I thought I needed, a birdie to at least tie, so I had a go. I had a good lie over there, and only had 183 metres or something to the front, so there was no reason not to have a go. I just didn't quite hit it. Just hit it a bit thin. It caught the tree, so it took a lot off it.
Good wedge.
Yeah, needed the putt, I think.
Second of the Australian PGA to Coulthard, leading the Australian Open, and really you've become almost a household name now in Australia, and perhaps this can elevate you even higher on the European Tour.
Yeah, it's a good, even though I've played 2 events, it feels like my first event away from home on the European Tour, so it's a good start. It's really good to, it's probably the first tournament I've had a real chance to win sort of in the last few holes, and so, it was a good tournament, very disappointing on the last though.
This is very good of you to, I know you've signed a couple of bags there for charity, and you're going to have a word with the press in a moment, and it's learning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Again, like I said, I haven't really had a chance to win a tournament before, so it's a pretty new experience, and I guess with all the names up there, it was hard not to get ahead of myself, and obviously I did a pretty good job until the last.
And Ollie birdied 17 now.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
Good check.
yeah it's good.
Have a good beer as well. We look forward to seeing you on the European Tour. Well done.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? So Woozy's made no mistake. He's clattered it into the grandstand. A year older, a year wiser.
That was almost a shot of sheer genius there. He put that drop zone in a really nasty position. Garrido out. It's a pity he didn't do that earlier on in the day.
Well, he's fought back well. He was 6 over for the day after through 12, but he's picked up 2 shots since then, and to share a 6th place again now with Lee Westwood at 12 under.
Well, right now a lot does depend on what Olazabal does. But if he makes this putt, gets him in a tie for 2nd place. And then he'll be thinking 3 on the last. Just for his birdie on 17.
I don't think I've seen a day where so many putts have hit the hole and lipped out. So he too needs Olazabal to make some kind of error at 18.
Well, if it was Norman's bunker shot got there, I'd like to ask him how he did it.
Well, it was. And Norman finishes with a birdie, a round of 73. Very much a mixed bag. Tried to get the attack going on the back nine, didn't really happen. Wasn't for lack of effort, that's for sure. He finishes 12 under.
decision time here. He can easily back to Ian Woosnam. There's a severe break on this putt.
Dribbles. So a disappointing 73 for Ian Woosnam. Made birdies at 12 and 13, and you wondered would he get it going, but nothing else happened on the way home. No Desert Classic title for Ian Woosnam, but we wish him many happy returns for tomorrow. Life begins tomorrow.
Jose Maria's second shot to 18. Looks like it's a layup. Yep.
It's going out the left-hand side, which was perhaps the surprising thing. 12 months ago, Ian Woosnam didn't go further left and take some of the water out of play.
Well, we're looking at a man who's probably the best wedge player in the world. And this is interesting.
Nothing really Ernie can do. He's just thinking, well, how far can I get it? Do I play it left-handed or?
Well, he's a very talented athlete. Whether he can hit it left-handed, hit it 200 yards, I just don't know.
What's he like as a lumberjack, though?
He's probably going to play the sensible shot and just chip it out onto the fairway. Although that doesn't look as though it's an automatic thing to do. Improvised very well on that one. I've seen some amateur swings like that.
Might see another one tomorrow. Back on the tee, the final two ball.
Garrido still playing for quite a lot of money if he gets a birdie or an eagle on this hole.
No flirting with the ant's nest this time, but he's quite a ways back.
Carlson still has a lot to play for here. Makes a birdie on this last hole. He ties for second place.
It's worth about £20,000.
Staying as aggressive as always. That's a huge tee shot. He really has played very well all week long. Just one or two loose shots, a few missed putts. Back to Elsa's third shot on 18.
Nearly with a hole for an eagle.
This is the shot of the tournament here. Two-shot lead at the moment. Be interesting if he hits this left of the flag.
Punches that one in. There's the grain just across. It's a very good shot in the end, but there must have been a flatter or two for a moment or two. Two putts from there,
Ladies and gentlemen,
barring an albatross from Robert Carlson.
94 World Match Play Champion 3 occasions, United States
But this perhaps, as you said at the time, Philip, if he goes on to win, this will be the shot they look back at the shot of the day for Eagle at 13. It's the big move from Olazabal. Put one hand on the trophy. He's about to clinch it here at 18.
And ladies and gentlemen, Jose Maria Olazabal from Spain.
It's exactly a year ago he made his comeback from his injury. And what a tremendous year it has been for him.
Well, the name of Seve Ballesteros is already on the trophy. This will be the second Spaniard to claim one of the most distinctive winning prizes in the world of golf. Ernie maybe a little closer, maybe wants to get out of the way and let the champion have the final putt.
He'll be disappointed with his performance today, but it's always nice to finish in style and birdie the last hole.
Yeah, he's got this for a round of 72. So it's been a very quiet back nine. This would be his first birdie since the turn. Doesn't often go 9 holes without picking up a shot. Nice way to finish in the tie at the moment for third place with Robert Carlson. Robert Carlson in good shape back on the green. Good start. It was the start he needed, but straight away dropped a couple of shots and was always up against it then, and didn't cash in on the par 5s, the 10 and the 13th. So this magnificent arena for this tournament, which is a firm favourite with everybody on the European Tour. Emotional moments 12 months ago just to see this man back in the arena. Now if he makes this, there's no way that Robert Carlson could catch him, albatross or not. This is for a 68 to finish at 19 under par. Good firm wrap straight in the hole. The finish of a champion. Jose Maria Olazabal has won the Dubai Desert Classic. Beware the sick golfer, he's had a temperature all week long. For victory, the best possible medicine. It was a great 2 at 11, it was a superb 3 at 13. A wobble at 16, an uncharacteristic 3 putt, but what a finish. Birdie, birdie.
If you listen to the doctor's orders on Thursday, this moment wouldn't happen.
He was 5 minutes away from pulling out of the tournament. No sick note required.
What a finish, ladies and gentlemen.
Tremendous performance.
A win for Jose Maria Olazabal of Spain, the Dubai Desert.
I think this week is showing what kind of character he has, what kind of determination, what kind of person he is.
Well, the announcer around the green saying his piece. I'm not sure Robert Carlson's too happy about that. He'll want to play this second in. Shut up, sir. Because Carlson, it's still a big shot. A birdie here and he ties second, an eagle, and he's second on his own.
He's hit one of the biggest drives we've seen on 18. Must be well over 300 yards. He's probably only got a 6-iron left in his hand.
He rather likes it. Just a little too long, right over the pin. Now he's got that shot that Greg Norman had.
Maybe a little bit of adrenaline flowing there, realising the situation.
Yeah, confirmed now, the champion Jose Maria Olazabal finishing in style, birdie. And he's putted well all week. Rounds of 69, 67, 65 yesterday when he just missed a birdie at 18. In fact, didn't play the par fives particularly well. Well, he took revenge certainly on the back nine with an eagle at 13 and a birdie at 18. Coming home in 33, 4 under par, having reached a turn in 35. Only the 2 bogeys in testing conditions. It all looks a little still now, but if you've been with us, you'll know just how difficult it was most of the afternoon. Now the final rounds. Stephen Allen in second place at the moment, just waiting for confirmation of Jose Maria's score, of course. 64 earlier on from David Guilford, the lowest round of the day. 68 from former champion Mark James, the first winner of this trophy as well, and 69 from Philip Price, who featured in the first round leaderboard. Andrew Coulthard, 70, he also started well, high expectations. Eduardo Romero, around a 70. Any round under par today was a fine effort. Stephen Richardson finishing with an eagle in his 74. He's overall had a good week. Paul McGinley also injured a 79, 15 more than his third shot, but extenuating circumstances. Sven Struber, 67. Some 83 players made the cut, which came 2 days ago, 1 under par. Mark Moulin, disappointing weekend after 2 excellent opening rounds. And lots of high scores as well. Sam Torrance making a cut to 77, also struggling today, but not alone.
Back to Garrido's third shot on 18, the forgotten man of the day.
Prize fund of £770,000, 130,000 to Jose Maria Olazabal. So you can see the stakes that Robert Carson is playing for. If he can get up and down from the trap, he will tie second place. Difference between second and first, some 37,000. So this is a shot up and down with about £17,500. Makes you think, me next play your friendly 4-ball for £1 a corner.
That's actually not too bad. It's a very difficult shot indeed. Hoping it would release from that fringe. Just got caught up a little bit too much, but now he's left himself a really tricky putt. Very fast downhill from the left. Well, we've had a tremendous tournament this week. Apart from today, the weather's been perfect. Hospitality has been tremendous. This tournament's here to stay for a very long time.
Yes, yeah, and I know tournaments in the UK where this would have been a good day, weather-wise.
This event always attracts the top players from all over the world.
This is quite an important putt for Garrido. At the moment he's tied at 12 under with Greg Norman and Lee Westwood in 6th place. Makes this, he moves up to a share of 5th with Ian Woosnam. It's for around a 75. Will be a 76. Made a fast start yesterday but couldn't repeat that today. To the turn in 38. And he'll be back in 38.
We see most of the helpers there, dressed in maroon. All the marshals and lady scorers.
In their smart tournament shirts.
Carson's chance to tie for second place. Huge break from the left.
Wishing away is it's possibly the least he deserves. He's played so well this week. And he's red. Oh, again. And well, now he's going to a little one back to tie third with Ernie Else.
Well, he stayed aggressive through all the adversity that he has had. You've got to admire him for that.
But he had no track record around this course. The last 3 years, Robert Carson missed the cut here at the Emirates.
I think it was his practice round that really gave him the boost. He was 10 under coming down the last hole. He knocked it to 10 feet and he 3-putted, but wasn't concentrating. So basically shot 10 under in the Pro-Am that gave him the momentum.
66, 65, 67, and a 75 for Robert Carson. He finishes tied third with Ernie Else. And now the final putt of the 1998 Dubai Desert Classic falls to a Spaniard, Ignacio Garrido, who taps in for a 76, but it's his fellow countryman Jose Maria Olazabal who's won the crown. So 6, 7 bogeys on that card. Was always struggling.
For Robert Carlson and
So there's the scene, and everybody staying for the presentation. A man who almost didn't play in this tournament. His flu was so bad he nearly pulled out. He felt terrible, sore throat, runny nose, sore eyes. It all ached, but it all came right, and we love a happy ending. Rounds of 69, 67, 65, and then 68 in such testing conditions. He's a worthy champion. Let's go to 18 and join Jose Maria Olazabal.
I'm joined at the Recorder's Hut by Mohammed Alabar, the Vice Chair of Dubai Aluminium Company, our title sponsors, and I thank you for the hospitality and the courtesy that we've been shown, all of us, this week, so thank you very much. And the winner, Jose Maria Olazabal. We were there last time at Maspalomas, and it was a comeback 12 months ago here. You said after a 65 in your third round, you said, I'll come back here and win this next year. You've done it.
Well, I was shocked when I got to 18, really. I said to my caddy John that if somebody had said to me before teeing off on Thursday that I was going to win the tournament, I would have sent him straight to the lunatic house.
The what? The nutty house?
Well, I mean, it's unbelievable. I almost withdrew from the tournament. I was feeling very sick on Thursday, and I haven't been feeling really well any day. But the last 2 days, I have to say, I felt a little better than the first two, and it's just the game of golf. I don't have any words to explain what happened this week.
Biggest roar of the week at the par 5 13th. When it went in, you looked almost apologetic.
Yes, I mean, you don't expect to do a thing like that, and I have to say at the same time that the third shot, it was a very tricky one. I didn't have much room to work with, and when I hit it, I thought, it was just a fraction short, but the ball bounced forward and got in the hole.
And then a birdie at 17 as well. That pretty much sorted that out, because were you aware that Stephen Allen had gone into the water at 18?
No, I didn't know that. I saw the leaderboard on 16, and I saw Stephen Allen 17 under par. I saw Carlson 17 under par too, and I bogeyed 3-putted on 16 and bogeyed that hole, and somehow I thought I needed to to birdie one of the last two holes to have a chance. And I birdied 17, and when I look at the leaderboard on 18, well, it was pretty clear.
That little wedge there coming in at 18 wasn't that far over the water, was it?
Well, it was not that far over the water, but it was not, well, it was in between the edge of the green and the edge of the water, but I think it was always enough to carry.
Have you been expecting yourself to win? You've been getting into contention, you've been getting into winning positions, and perhaps a little frustration lately that you haven't been able to finish it off, and now you've done it.
I was pleased the way I played the last two tournaments in Perth and Sydney. I knew if I kept on playing the game of golf like I did those 2 weeks, sooner or later I will have the chance to win. And but it was not the case this week because of my health condition. But it's a very strange game.
This is one of the world's finest tournaments. We've had an excellent field here. Seve's gone well, Ernie Els right up there as well. You've fought off some of the best here. Masters, next goal?
Well, the major events are always a goal. It doesn't matter which one of them. Obviously, the Masters is the next tournament. There's still a few more weeks ahead, and you have to keep on playing well to get confidence to that week and to get relaxed and to be positive. So we'll have to wait and see what happens from here to then.
We've had some fantastic winners on the European Tour already in 1998. All our congratulations to Jose Maria Olazabal, back into the winner's circle once again and looking for a very strong year. Watch out, Monty, at the top of the Volvo ranking. Jose Maria, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, indeed, a worthy winner. That win moves Jose Maria into second place in the Volvo rankings, just behind, or some distance behind, Ernie Els, but quite a big leap. And 19 under, one outside the record for this event. Stephen Allen disappointed at the last, but you know, in the end he looked back and said he had to go for it, and he still got second place, and 85,000 reasons to be very positive. Ernie Els didn't quite deliver, nor did Ian Woosnam in the end, or Greg Norman, but it has been a terrific week, and we've enjoyed our time in the golf. Now we're going to move up to Qatar for the new Qatar Masters, and Philip Parkin, final word from you before we look forward to next week.
Final word is a most impressive victory by Olazabal.
Your Highnesses, the Captain of the Emirates Golf Club, Your Excellencies, Mr. Ken Schofield, Executive Director of the PGA European Tour, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you all to the prize presentation for the 1998 Dubai Desert Classic. It is my pleasure to call upon the Vice Chairman of the tournament's sponsor, the Dubai Aluminium Company Limited, Mohammed Alabar.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سمو الشيخ أحمد بن راشد آل مكتوم، أصحاب المعالي، أيها السيدات والسادة، أسعد الله مساءكم. بالنيابة عن شركة ألمنيوم دبي دوبال، يسرني أن أرحب بكم في هذا الحفل الختامي لبطولة دبي ديزرت كلاسيك 1998. ها نحن نشهد ختاما رائعا لدورة أخرى من بطولة دبي ديزرت كلاسيك التي جاءت متميزة وممتعة للجميع هذا العام، وتعكس لوحة النتائج الباهرة التي حققها المشاركون المستوى العالي للعب خلال الأيام الأربعة الماضية. أنني أتقدم بالتهنئة إلى الفائز ببطولة دبي ديزرت كلاسيك 98 السيد هوزيه ماريا أولثابال، الذي حقق إنجازا رائعا بعد المنافسة الحامية التي شهدتها البطولة بين ألمع نجوم لعبة الجولف في العالم، وآمل أن نراه يدافع عن لقبه هنا في العام المقبل. لقد استقبل هذا الملعب طوال السنوات العشر الماضية العديد من أشهر نجوم لعبة الجولف في العالم، وحظى بإشادة لاعبي ومسؤولي الجولة الأوروبية، ويطيب لي بمناسبة مرور عقد من الامتياز والتفوق لواحد من أفضل أندية الجولف في الشرق الأوسط والعالم أن أتقدم بالتهنئة إلى المسؤولين والعاملين في نادي الإمارات للجولف على تهيئة هذا المرفق الرائع لاستضافة البطولة كل عام والمساهمة في إنجاحها. إن بطولة بمستوى دبي ديزرت كلاسيك لا يمكن أن يكتب لها النجاح دون دعم العديد من الأفراد والمؤسسات ووسائل الإعلام المحلية والعالمية، ولا يسعني بهذه المناسبة إلا أن أتقدم بجزيل الشكر إلى كل من ساهم في إنجاح هذا الحدث، وأخص بالشكر كل من طيران الإمارات، دائرة مواني دبي، وسلطة المنطقة الحرة في جبل علي، وبنك دبي الوطني، وإعمار العقارية على دعمهم المستمر لبطولة دبي ديزرت كلاسيك. ولا ننسى أيضا أن نشكر المتطوعين الذين ساهموا في التنظيم والمراقبة، وأنتم المشجعين على مساهمتكم في إنجاح هذه البطولة. كما أتوجه بالشكر لأعضاء نادي الإمارات للجولف على جهودهم في توفير كافة متطلبات البطولة. كما أود أن أشكر أيضا العاملين في مركز دبي التجاري العالمي على تنظيم وترويج هذه البطولة. أشكر مساهمتكم معنا جميعا، وأتمنى أن أراكم مجددا في بطولة دبي ديزرت كلاسيك 99، وشكرا. Good afternoon, Your Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dubai Aluminium Company, it is my pleasure to welcome His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. We have witnessed yet another fine victory, a memorable Dubai Desert Classic tournament, which I'm sure everyone enjoys immensely. The leaderboard reflects the incredible quality of the golf during the past 4 days by some of the world's finest players. Congratulations, Jose Maria Olazabal. Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, this win was truly deserved, not only because Olazabal promised us last year that he will win, but when you look at the health of Olazabal during the past few days, I am really thrilled that he wins this tournament, and congratulations again. We look forward to seeing you back next year to defend your title. And I must say that this venue has played a host of golf superstars for the past 10 years, winning international recognition and words of praise from golfers and PGA European Tour officials, This has been a decade of excellence for one of the finest golf clubs in the Middle East and the world. And I would like to thank and congratulate the Emirates Golf Club team on providing such spectacular venue. Tournaments of this stature do not happen without considerable support from many individuals, organizations, and the sponsors. My congratulations to everyone involved for making this year's Desert Classic such tremendous success. I would also like to thank Dubai World Trade Center for organizing and promoting the tournament so well. I extend my thanks to the media too, both local and international, who have done an excellent job during the Dubai Desert Classic this year. I would like also to thank especially Emirates Airlines, our national airlines, Jabal Ali Free Zone, National Bank of Dubai, and Imar Properties, and many other supporters and sponsors of the Dubai Desert Classic. A special thank to you must go to you, the hundreds of volunteers who've marshaled and stewarded during the tournament this week, and to the students and their teachers who worked so hard on the scoreboards. Last but not least, let me say a very big thanks to the spectators, all of you. You form an integral part of the success of the Dubai Desert Classic. I trust that all visitors will take this with them, good memories, until see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed, for your remarks, which are appreciated by everyone who has contributed to the staging of this year's successful event. I would now like to introduce Mike Stewart, Tournament Director of the European Tour, to announce the results of the 1998 Dubai Desert Classic. And Your Highness, if you would step forward, please, to present the cheques and trophies.
Your Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we had two players this week tied in third position on scores of 273, that's 15 under par. Firstly, from South Africa, winning a cheque for £43,500, would you please put your hands together for Ernie Else? And also on the same score, 15 under par, winning a similar cheque for £43,500 from Sweden, Robert Carlson. And in second position, with rounds of 67, 70, 67 and 68, for a 16 under par total of 272, a young player who's got a very bright future ahead of him, we think. He wins a cheque for £85,000 from Australia, Stephen Allen. And finally, with scores of 69, 67, 65 and 68, for a total of 269, that's 19 under par. From Spain, the winner of this year's Dubai Desert Classic, would you please congratulate Jose Maria Olazabal. In addition to the Dubai Desert Classic trophy, Jose Maria also wins a cheque for £130,000. He also receives a Rolex watch. And finally, one more. There's a Dubai City of Gold medallion, 8-ounce gold medallion. Congratulations. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Jose Maria Olazabal.
Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing week for me this week. The start of the tournament, I almost withdrew for the tournament because of my health condition, and if somebody had said to me that I was going to win this tournament this week, I would have said that he was quite crazy. I want to thank Emirates Golf Club for hosting the event here. I mean, the golf course was in great shape. I have no complaints from my part, and I think I can say that from the rest of my partner professionals. And of course to the organizers, Dubai World Trade Center, all the sponsors, Dubai, Emirates Airlines, and all other co-sponsors. And of course all the volunteers. You do a great job, very quietly. And it's something we all professionals do appreciate when we are playing a tournament of this caliber. I think we should give them a good round of applause, please. The scorers too. I know that it's not much fun just keeping the scores up there and not being able to watch the golf, but you do a wonderful job too, and the marshals, everybody too. I think without everybody involved, the tournament wouldn't be organized at the level that is needed, and I want to thank you all for it. And my last thanks, but not least, is to the crowds, to the people that attend the tournament. You are wonderful people. You made me feel, especially this week, you made me feel at home. I am quite far away from home, but you are such wonderful people that it's amazing what you can make me feel here. It was wonderful last year. It was my first tournament after a big spell without playing golf tournaments at all. You made it wonderful last year, but you made it even better this year. So thank you very much to you all. Thanks a lot.
Your Highnesses, thank you for your attendance today. Thank you to all the spectators for their support this week. That concludes the prize presentation for the 1998 Dubai Desert Classic. We look forward to meeting you all in 1999. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stay behind? We are now going to make the announcement of the Dubai Desert Classics Dubai Duty Free's finest surprise car raffle for the Bentley Brooklands. Where's the thing?